Good morning, Manitoba. Monday, July 28th. Do you volunteer? And if you already do, does it fulfill you? Well, I bet it does. Throughout the morning, we're going to be chatting with Volunteer Manitoba, live from the Big Brothers Big Sisters. But we're going to have other volunteer organizations, including Folklorama, which is now just starting up as well. So get the opportunities all year round, but especially in the summer when they're really looking for them. First, here's a look at your headlines. The battle against wildfires in the north is far from over. New flare-ups and tough terrain are keeping fire crews on high alert. As trade tensions rise with the U.S., all eyes are turning north to a Manitoba port that could change the game. And a scorching Saturday couldn't keep the crowds away. Folklorama is coming back and bigger than ever. It really was a scorching Saturday, but I was telling you earlier, Sunday it looked like the evening, even at just 1 p.m., those rain clouds.
Interesting, yeah. I was out of town for the weekend, but came back into plenty of puddles everywhere. So obviously had a nice little bit of a soaking on Sunday, and now waking up Monday to some heavy fog. 13 degrees, winds out of the west-southwest, 7 clicks, the pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 100%. Now, there's not a lot of clouds out there. That really is just fog. So once that burns off, we will probably enjoy some sunshine for this morning, but maybe a little bit of smoky haze that we could see developing into the afternoon. Right now, it's central and northern Manitoba where that smoke is most prevalent. That's the warnings map that you're seeing right now. Southern and most northern stretches on the clearer side, but maybe only a matter of time as we are expecting some northwest winds throughout the day today. Bit of precipitation just in some areas north of Winnipeg right now. Some very scattered precipitation, light shower activity. We do have the possibility maybe of encountering some brief showers later on today, but overall we're probably just going to be in for some really pleasant conditions, mid-20s, close to seasonal, but then like I said, that smoke increasing into the afternoon. So a look at the futurecast and you can see just a very kind of brief passing precipitation. A few clouds here or there, so partly cloudy or a mix of sun and cloud later on as the day goes on, and then mid-20s. It'll be a pleasant day. Not a scorching day, but we're going to get more of that heat as we continue on. Tomorrow, another round of precipitation through the southwest. Winnipeg and southeastern Manitoba likely to remain on the clearer side for tomorrow. And I mentioned more of that heat coming. We'll be up in those high 20s later this week.
Thank you, Terry. Fire crews are still working to contain wildfires near some northern Manitoba communities. An update from the city of Thompson on Sunday says that Manitoba Wildfire Service teams are working on the north to flank of fire NO061, which is the closest one to Thompson. Helicopters are providing water bucket support. Crews will work on the southern flank when they work on the north side as it wraps up. The update says that 2 new fires started in on the north on Saturday, but crews are confident that they can contain them. Temperatures will be in the 20 to 24 degree range today, with early afternoon showers possible in Thompson, and winds in the north are expected to be 15 to 20 kilometers per hour from the northwest, gusting to 30. The town of Leaf Rapids says that a roving fire engine continues to extinguish hot spots in that community. Fuel is again available for vehicles and generators as the co-op card lock is operating again. Further reports from Leaf Rapids say that the fire moved easterly again in the winds, crossed the highway at the north end of the airport. 5 dozen continue to create dozer lines. All eyes will be on the Bank of Canada this week as it makes its next decision on interest rates. Economists polled by Reuters think that the central bank will hold its benchmark rate steady at 2.75%. Those experts made that prediction citing a recent rise in inflation and a slight fall in unemployment. Analysts have also pointed to a lack of clarity around the impact of U.S. tariffs, especially as trade talks come down to the wire. The Bank of Canada announces its interest rate decision on Wednesday. That same day, the U.S. Federal Reserve will be announcing its own decision on interest rates. Markets expect the central bank will also hold U.S. interest rates steady at 4.25 to 4.5%. That will go against calls from President Trump, who's been pushing Fed Chair Jerome Powell to cut rates. He's been pressuring the traditionally independent institution, but officials have signaled that they want to see the impacts of U.S. tariffs before easing rates any further. The next U.S. tariff deadline is coming on Friday, and President Donald Trump says that there will be no extensions.
The August 1st is there for everyone. The deals all start on August 1st.
The U.S. is threatening Canada with a 35% tariff on non-CUSMA complaint complaint exports. Prime Minister Mark Carney downplayed the possibility of reaching a deal by the deadline during his meeting with premiers last week. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc had a similar message while Canada's trade team was in Washington last week. Minister LeBlanc is expected to be back in D.C. this week for more talks. So far, the U.S. has reached 5 trade agreements. None of them are tariff-free. Canada's trade war with the U.S. is now putting a spotlight on a remote port in northern Manitoba. The port of Churchill could soon be a very strategic asset. CTV's Alex Karpa looks into the role it could play.
The port of Churchill, nestled along the shores of Hudson Bay in northern Manitoba, has become an important piece of the puzzle as the Canada-U.S. trade war rages on, and expanding it has a new sense of urgency.
We're building infrastructure, trade-enabling infrastructure for the future.
The port has a brief operating window each summer and is currently Canada's only Arctic seaport serviced by rail, and it's the shortest link from the prairies to the Atlantic Ocean, offering access to Europe and destinations around the world.
Building this trade-enabling infrastructure will further enable the vast resources we have in Western Canada out to global markets.
Last week, Manitoba and Saskatchewan signed an agreement with Arctic Gateway Group, which owns and operates the port, to upgrade infrastructure and modernize supply chains.
With the ice breaking and with properly built ships to withstand the ice, we could operate 12 months a year.
Barry Prentice says there is a lot of economic opportunity for Saskatchewan and Alberta to move products through the Hudson Bay.
We want to move bulk products, especially those that are somewhat storable. And potash fits in that category, as do minerals, petrochemicals, and even that matter, I suppose, some lumber.
All the talk about breathing new life into the Arctic comes as welcome news for those living in the north.
It's good for the country because it's another outlet of being able to ship, and kind of helps, with some of these bottlenecks that you kind of see logistically across the country.
In recent years, the federal and provincial governments have invested millions of dollars into the rail line and the port in Churchill to build up a trade route through the Arctic so Canadian products can reach markets globally. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
It sure was hot on Saturday afternoon, but was that enough to stop Winnipeg from kicking Folklorama to start? The answer is absolutely not. The festival officially launched at the Lyric Theatre and Field in Assiniboine Park. It was the only day for visitors to see all 43 pavilions and their ambassadors in one place. Ethno-cultural performances at children's area and food trucks were also there. The festival's executive director described the unique value of the event to Winnipeg.
It's really like having 43 different festivals all over the city. It's something that's really, really unique to Winnipeg. We're truly part of the fabric of the community.
The festival started out in 1973 with 21 pavilions. This year is featuring 43 pavilions all over Winnipeg. The festival is open from Sunday, August 3rd to Saturday, August 16th. Attendees are recommended to check the festival's travel guide on their website, folklorama.ca, for schedules and locations. Here's our first look at traffic. Portage and Polo Park. Certainly a slow start to your Monday morning. Head to our X page with any traffic tips. Joseph Bernacki joins us for the first time this morning from Big Brothers Big Sisters alongside Volunteer Manitoba. Good morning.
Good morning, Ainsley, and good morning, Manitoba. Happy Monday. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. Yeah, as Ainsley mentioned at the top of the show today, we're spending time with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Winnipeg. Great organization, of course. It's been around for many, many years here in our city. And we're going to be having conversations, of course, about volunteering with organizations like this and more throughout the show today. Coming up in about half an hour's time, we're going to be speaking with some volunteers who have been a part of the organization here for many years. Later on in the show today, we're going to be speaking, of course, with Volunteer Manitoba. We're hoping to speak with staff from Folklorama, talking about a preview for that and the need for volunteers. Of course, Folklorama starting next week as July starts to wrap up. So stay tuned for more conversations, how you can support great organizations like this and more, coming up shortly here on CTV Morning Live.
Thank you, Joseph. Terry on the roof for our video now. We're a dog, okay, and we're gonna need to convince our owner we need a pool. It's got a plan. Check it out.
Oh my goodness.
Did you fall? Aw.
Well, that's a new definition to a teacup dog for sure. He walked right up. Wasn't even big enough to fit in, really.
Well, and there's the water displacement exercise for you.
I love it.
Oh my goodness. Poor little thing must be so hot to do that.
Oh man.
Or just one of those pets that just will find trouble no matter how or how.
Is today a pool day?
Maybe for some. I mean, I'm noticing a slight coolness to the air, but I mean, I'm out here in no sleeves and thinking, oh, I wouldn't have minded having a sweater on right now, but probably only for the morning hours because the humidity is high and that's just that dampness that I'm feeling right now before the sun rises above the buildings of downtown. So technically the sun has started to rise already. But only about 20 minutes ago, so it hasn't made its way above the downtown buildings yet. Once it does, I'll start to feel the warmth of it. We are in for a mid-20s day, very pleasant as far as temperatures go. 13 where we begin is normal for this time of year. Winds are light out of the west-southwest. Nope, that's the west-northwest, pardon me. Pressure rising, humidity at 100%. And that northwest wind will matter because I'm about to tell you that we could see some smoke increasing later on into the day. The possibility of some kind of hazy conditions or straight up smoke. We do have those smoke warnings in place through central and northern Manitoba. Slim chance of seeing some possible showers today. Although when I came out here, honestly, I was shocked. Look at my rain gauge. I'm going to leave the water in there for a little bit so I can show you again in a couple minutes time. Just over 30 millimeters. That was a soaking. Anyway, possible showers today, but it's on the slimmer side. And yes, mid-20s is where we're headed today. It's only going to continue to heat up through the rest of the week. And while today we have that possibility of some showers, it does look like it'll remain dry throughout the rest of the week. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Good morning, it's 6:15. A restoration project is underway to preserve and refurbish a piece of Manitoba's past. The Nanette Sanatorium on the shores of Pelican Lake in southwestern Manitoba has sat vacant for nearly a quarter century. The sanatorium was built in 1909 to treat patients with tuberculosis. It closed back in 1972, and in the following decades, the site was used as a care center for patients with intellectual disabilities and briefly as a Christian conference center. A new owner took possession of the historic site in June of 2023, and since then has been working to restore it. That's welcome news for the area's Reeve, who says that he's excited to see work underway.
It's wonderful for the community, for our municipality. Hopefully we'll create more reason for people to come to our area and enjoy what we have to offer. So anytime we can bring tourism to the municipality, we certainly greatly support that.
The owner of the site, Jeff Gregoire, tells CTV News that the project includes converting some of the buildings into apartments and a museum. He says it's still in the beginning stages and is expected to be a multi-year project. The Canadian government is condemning Hong Kong authorities for issuing arrest warrants for pro-democracy activists based overseas. Hong Kong has put out arrest warrants for 19 activists, including Canadians. They are accused of subversion. It includes bounties ranging from $25,000 to $127,000 US. One of the people on the list is Canadian activist Victor Ho.
This is a kind of typical transnational repression action. It won't hurt me because I'm a Canadian, so no fear and no surprise.
Canada has called the warrants an act of transactional repression. To the Middle East now, where the leader of the UN's humanitarian agencies says that more than 100 truckloads of aid were delivered to Gaza on Sunday as Israel eased some restrictions. It comes after days of mounting international pressure. CTV's Colton Prale on what Israel is calling a tactical pause.
This is what it means to see humanitarian aid re-enter Gaza. Exhausted and famished, this family now has some hope.
This is Adam. He's having seizures, and he's been also suffering from starvation.
But Canadians with family in the enclave say food isn't reaching everyone.
It's a continuous struggle to try to call some organizations on the ground to get some food baskets delivered to my family, and all they are saying is that there's nothing we can do.
This weekend, airdrops and trucks are shuttling into Gaza with renewed urgency after Israel announced it would begin daily pauses of military activities in 3 regions of Gaza from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. local time for aid to flow. For some, it's a glimmer of hope after years of anguish.
I've been calling my therapist on a weekly basis.
Israel insists there is no starvation in Gaza.
What a bold-faced lie. There is no policy of starvation in Gaza, and there is no starvation in Gaza.
Fadi Kader says he feels gaslit as his relatives go hungry.
And when they say never again, what do they mean by that? Never again if you look like that, or never again if you look like that, or never again if you look certain religion, certain color? That is not never again.
The World Health Organization saying over 60 people died in Gaza due to malnutrition this month, while nearly 1 in 5 children are acutely malnourished.
Whatever bit of aid is going to enter the Gaza Strip undoubtedly will save lives, but it's clear that what is needed is really a consistent influx.
Meanwhile, Israel says it will continue to allow the minimal entry of humanitarian supplies while it continues to fight until complete victory.
Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister says the decision to unblock aid is a step in the right direction, but the move needs to be made permanent.
The newest trade deal announced by the U.S. is with the European Union.
It's a huge deal. It will bring stability. It will bring predictability. That's very important for our businesses on both sides of the Atlantic.
The framework of the deal will see a 15% baseline tariff on EU exports. It also calls for significant investment from the EU on U.S. energy and military equipment. This is not the no-tariff deal EU members wanted, but it's also lower than the 30% tariff threatened by the U.S. President Trump is still in Scotland this morning. He's expected to meet with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer at his Turnberry golf course. Just like last year, it's the summer of summer. Summer McIntosh opened the Swimming World Championships in a big way on Sunday, winning gold in the 400-meter freestyle. She finished that race in just 3 minutes and 56.26 seconds, a shade under the world record she set at the Canadian trials last month. This is the first of 5 golds she hopes to earn in the competition. Her second shot at gold is today in the 200-meter individual medley. Michael Phelps is the only other person to ever win 5 individual medals in the Worlds. He also did that at the Olympics. Wow. Here's Megan Phillips Street right now. No stalls or crashes that we're aware of. Send us a note at CTV Morning WPG.
CTV Morning Live Traffic brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
A little bit of fog out there this morning as we look now through the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. All right, but behind that fog, fairly clear conditions. We will enjoy a bit of sunshine today and then some more clouds building up. There is the possibility, but it will be a brief and slim possibility. So I should have said slim first and then brief if we do see it, of some possible showers rolling through later on today. Temperature-wise, 13 degrees. That's where we're sitting right now. And that is bang on what you might expect for this time of year for these morning temperatures. So Winnipeg and Gimli right in that 13 degrees along with Sprague. It is warmer over in Kenora at 17, but even Morton Winkler at 16, Portage 15, slightly cooler, Brandon at 12. And then there's Roblin at 11 degrees. Swan River just a little cooler than that, still in the single digits, 9 degrees there, but even cooler yet in Thompson. Although Thompson, we've seen you go from 3 degrees to 12 degrees in a matter of hours. So we know that the gains will be pretty impressive once again, quite likely. We do have some heavier smoke hanging around in parts of northern and central Manitoba. Not the case here in the south, but that could all change as we are expecting these winds out of the northwest to increase a little bit. And still overnight and through tomorrow, those northwest winds remain. There's that possibility of some shower activity, and we'll see that off and on through the morning, midday. As far as the temperatures go, though, it's still going to be a pleasant one. You can see by noontime already up into those low 20s or mid to high teens across parts of northern Manitoba. We will eventually be pushing up into the mid 20s. 26 degrees normal for this time of year. We may be just shy of that at 25 and slightly cooler tomorrow, but then on the rise with more heat coming our way later this week. stunning sunsets. So many people spotted them. Susan took this particular photo from last night. Keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca, and we'll be back right after this break.
A teacher from Manitoba is getting ready to set sail on the adventure of a lifetime. She's embarking on a round-the-world trip despite having almost no sailing experience. CTV's Carol Charles explains.
The crashing waves are a sign of things to come, but Ruby Thornton is not afraid of any challenge. Despite having no previous sailing experience, the 26-year-old teacher from Oakville is preparing to compete in the Clipper Round the World yacht race.
I love traveling, and I think being on the open water has always been something that I've enjoyed.
The Clipper race is the only event of its kind which trains people from all walks of life to become ocean racers and take on endurance challenges. And get this, no experience needed. Training provided.
I figured I'm a good listener, I'm a teacher, and I'm good at following instructions. So yeah, I figured why not?
Ruby has already had a taste of adventure, having enjoyed college trips to Guatemala and Africa. Now she has an opportunity to sail around the world with the help of her 19-person crew.
I've been on the boats with some skilled sailors, and they've all been very patient with me and willing to help me out when I'm completely lost.
She is currently teaching in the remote stretches of northern Manitoba, but is taking a career pause to participate in this 11-month challenge, which gets underway next month. Ruby and her race crew must complete 4 levels of Clipper race training before lining up to start the challenge.
It was very intense. It's a lot of information all at once. There was words just spilling out of my brain because I was learning so many terms and different parts of the boats that I had never understood what they did or their purpose before. I'm feeling a little bit more confident with that now.
And it's not an easy ride, but she has learned valuable skills during her 4 weeks of training.
I've learned the importance of tethering on, especially when it's windy and wavy. And I've also gotten very good at tying knots under pressure.
She admits she's nervous, but excited.
For me, this is very much not my norm. I don't sail, but after this I will. And again, it's going to be an adventure that I think of for the rest of my life, so I wanted that.
The race will make 14 stops on its global route, which include Cape Town, South Africa, Qingdao, China, Tongyong City in Korea, Seattle, USA, and Oban, Scotland, announced so far. The Clipper race gets underway from Portsmouth, United Kingdom on August 31st. Carol Charles, CTV News.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
A look outside, and we are still seeing some of that early morning fog hanging around. 13 degrees, winds out of the west-northwest. They're 6 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 100%. 13 degrees, that is a seasonal low temperature, but yes, a little bit of fog. As opposed to sunshine, which we might otherwise see, or smoke. That's what some places are still seeing. The main smoky areas, north-central Manitoba, the far north on the clearer side, the very south on the clearer side, but maybe only for a matter of time because northwest winds are expected today, and we may notice that smoke then increasing. There is the possibility of some brief and scattered patchy shower activity showing up. Many places through southern or central Manitoba may see this. In fact, some parts of even northern Manitoba may see a brief passing shower, but nowhere one place really amounting to too much. Unlike yesterday, I was showing you my rain gauge on the rooftop, 30 millimeters of rain. Oh my goodness, that surprised me. I wasn't around for the weekend. I didn't know, so apparently there was a lot. 25 for today. It will be a warm one, partly sunny, but maybe a little bit hazy, down to a seasonal 13 degrees overnight, still with those northwest winds in place. For tomorrow, northwest winds remain, mix of sun and cloud, and a high of 23 degrees. So getting a little bit of a break from hot temperatures, but they will be coming back again. You can see the mercury on the rise as we continue through the week.
Thanks, Terry. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada is investigating the crash of a small plane east of Winnipeg that killed one person. The National Safety Agency released few details, but says the crash on Saturday morning involved a privately registered Quad City Challenger 2 ultralight aircraft. The Safety Board says that one person was involved in the incident that happened in Dugald. RCMP later confirmed in a news release that they responded to a small single-engine two-seat aircraft crash at around 11 a.m. and a man's body was recovered at the scene. Police say that there were no other occupants on the aircraft. TSB says it has developed a team of investigators and is unable to share more information at this time. 3 candidates are now registered for the upcoming by-election to replace a Winnipeg councillor. Emma Durand-Wood has been living in Elmwood since 2008. She helped re-establish the Glen Elm Neighborhood Association, co-founded Trees Please Winnipeg Coalition, and is vice chair of the Chalmers Neighborhood Renewal Corporation. Zakaria Salahaddin has lived in Elmwood for 13 years and is a graduate of Elmwood High School and the University of Winnipeg, earning a degree in international development studies. And Carmen Prefontaine has called the ward home as both a child and adult. She served in various executive roles with the Canadian Union of Public Employees and has 15 years of experience working for the city. All 3 are looking to fill the seat left behind by the late Jason Schreier, who died suddenly in April. Voters in Elmwood, East Kildonan will head to the polls October 25th. Wildfires in Saskatchewan are burning throughout more than 1 million hectares across the north. Hundreds of structures have already been lost, including cabins and entire trap lines. As CTV's Alison Bamford explains, the damage could force some out of the industry and away from their passion.
This is Don Gordon's paradise, a plot of land where he's been trapping animals in Saskatchewan's boreal forest for 30 years.
You get to see nature at its best and the hardships that go with it. All the roots are burnt.
And he's seen his fair share.
It burnt the material right up against it.
A couple months ago, the threat of wildfires stopped just meters from his front door.
I didn't expect to come here to this. I came here expecting a pile of tin.
Dozens of trap lines and several cabins across the north have been completely wiped out, many not insured due to the location and affordability. Provincial assistance is available for some uninsurable losses, but trapper cabins are insurable, therefore not eligible, according to Saskatchewan's Public Safety Agency. First Nations chiefs want the province to change that.
Trapping is what built Canada. Trapping industry, and there has to be, I said many times, there has to be support in this industry.
Saskatchewan's Public Safety Agency told us it will continue to review its programs and look at ways to better support the needs of the North in the future. Gordon counts himself lucky that he has a cabin to go back to, but he doesn't know how much of his trapping area actually burned or what it will mean for the animals.
There's going to be a lot of individuals that don't even go back. The land species, if it's totally burnt, there won't be anything this winter to trap.
It could take years to draw some species back into the burned areas. Some individual trappers might not survive this, but the industry will.
As long as there's product being provided and there's a market to buy the product, trapping, it'll remain.
A passion for him that will continue burning long after the fires. Alison Bamford, CTV News, near Torch River, Saskatchewan.
Air Canada flight attendants begin a strike vote today as contract talks stall. The union's key issues include pay, unpaid work, per diems, and pensions. Voting is open until August 5th, next Tuesday. Air Canada says that they're committed to the bargaining process and remain fully available to resume negotiations. A strike wouldn't be able to take place before a 21-day cooling-off period. The U.S. and Qatar has reportedly signed off on the terms of the gift of a luxury jet. CNN is reporting the U.S. will pay nothing for the Boeing aircraft, which will be an unconditional donation from Qatar. But the U.S. could end up paying hundreds of millions of dollars to upgrade the plane as the next Air Force One. President Donald Trump has hinted at keeping the plane as his presidential library after he leaves office. A bow tie really does add to an outfit. Darius from New Jersey is 18 years old, and his fashion is his passion. He especially likes bow ties. He started making them and selling them before he was 10 years old. And he had an idea to outfit shelter animals with bow ties. Every animal wearing one of Darius's bow ties ended up being adopted within 2 weeks. Darius has now made it his mission to help shelter animals get noticed. Taking a look at the current traffic situation along Kenniston and Sterling Line. Looks like a smooth drive. If you have any traffic tips or updates, send them to us. CTV Morning, WPG. Here's your gas prices now. The Canadian average stands at $1.34. The provincial average is slightly lower at $1.30. And in Winnipeg, the average is $1.29. The lowest price in the city, $1.19. All this info available at gasbuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
It's so important to have positive role models, and that's what Big Brothers Big Sisters is doing. Joseph Bernanke is there. Good morning.
Good morning, Ainsley, and good morning, Manitoba. Yeah, we're going to have a great morning today talking about all the hardworking volunteers that are a part of organizations like this. I'm very pleased to be joined by Sean and Cassie Bernard. The husband and wife team are two of many volunteers here at Big Brothers Big Sisters. Sean, pleasure to have you on our show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit how you got involved with the organization 5 years ago and what it's meant to you to have been a part of it ever since.
Yeah, 5 years ago, I was just looking to give back to my community. I had a friend who I was working with at the time who said Big Brothers was a good program, so I reached out to them, went through the interview process, and now I've been, like you said, with my little brother for about 5 years now.
And you mentioned the organization does a great job of pairing individuals, the volunteers, with the little brother or little sister themselves.
Yeah, definitely. So when we're going through the vetting process, both the mentee and the mentor itself, as well as the guardian, get to take profiles of all the potential pairings, and then you get to choose and have say in who you're going to be matched with, so that gap that you have to kind of bridge initially is as small as it can be.
And you get to have a lot of fun with the person that you're partnered with, be it from playing a game of pool to going out for fishing, you said, for the first time in your life. Talk to me a little bit about those experiences.
Yeah, definitely. So here at Big Brothers headquarters, if you're looking to just do stuff, you can come down here, as well as we're encouraged to go out and do things. My little brother went to a fishing camp a couple years ago and said, hey, this summer, can we go out fishing? I had never been fishing in my life before, so I went and bought 2 rods, and now I think I have the fishing bug.
That's awesome. And Cass, you joined a year later after Sean did. What would you say to somebody if they were wanting to join an organization like this to encourage them? I know you have a lot of fun with your match as well.
Yeah, we have tons of fun. What I would say is that it really doesn't take that much time. I know when Sean started, I was like, okay, there's no way he's busier than I am. Like, I absolutely can do this. And all it takes is like an hour every couple weeks.
And it's everything from, you like to go for walks with your match, and
yeah, we like to go for walks. She's older now, so she likes to try out different cafes. And I also love cafes and iced coffee, so it's perfect.
Wonderful. Well, we appreciate having both of you on our show this morning, and we're going to continue our conversations with Big Brothers Big Sisters, Volunteer Manitoba, and a few other organizations this morning on CTV Morning Live. Stay tuned.
Thanks, Joseph. Outside, Terry. Oh, there's the sirens again. You're appealing to all of your senses. How does it feel, though?
Not bad. Honestly, I was saying earlier that it seemed a little bit cool. Mostly it's that humidity, which is on the higher side this morning. 100% humidity is what we're waking up to right now. And a little bit of fog, although it's looking not as foggy when I'm up here on the rooftop. It's more when we're showing you those camera views, but that's because the cameras are tucked a little bit higher up into the sky as well. 13 degrees is a very seasonal start to your day, and the winds, they're light, just 6 clicks right now. They are out of the west-northwest. The pressure rising, and I mentioned that humidity at 100%. Well, there is that dampness then to the air, and all of that rain. I'll show you this again. Look at this, 30 millimeters, just over 30 millimeters. I'm going to have to do some looking. Was that all weekend long? Did it storm on Friday? Friday and Saturday, I think there were some storms that rolled through as well. So that's probably not just Sunday's rainfall amount, but still, over the course of the weekend, that's a good saturation for my plants. Not going to need to water them today. Mother Nature may still bring a little sprinkling of shower activities, but then hot and sunny conditions through the rest of the week. We're taking a break. We'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Looking at the early markets this Monday, stock futures are edging up ahead of the open. Dow futures are up 37 points. NASDAQ futures are leading the pack, up 70 points. S&P and 500 futures are up 10 points. The Canadian dollar is seeing a slight increase this morning. Overseas, the Hang Seng is on the rise, up 173 points, while Japan's Nikkei is down by 457. Good morning. Now to an important update for Winnipeg commuters. The Louise Bridge is going to be closed even longer because the city found more defects on the bridge. The bridge initially closed May 23rd for an inspection and maintenance. However, works found corrosion requiring repairs. It was set to reopen at the end of July. In an update shared on Friday, the city says it'll remain closed until early September for the extra repairs. The city did not say what the additional defects were. It is asking drivers to be patient and use the Disraeli Bridge or Provencher Bridge in the meantime. The scorching conditions taking a toll across the country. Even coastal communities in Newfoundland, not typically known for the heat, can't escape it. CTV's Garrett Berry with the impact it's having there.
Between the goats, the turkeys, the ducks, and the bees, Steve McBride has a big and growing family.
I've got over 1 million mouths to feed and water over the course of the day on any given day.
Lately, it's been looking like this. Daily trips to a nearby pond to fill up these 5-gallon buckets of water, one at a time.
We've been here on the homestead, pretty much off the grid for 12 years now, and I've never seen anything like this, not even close.
That's how dry it has been this summer in Newfoundland. About half of the normal amount of rain has fallen in this region. Moderate drought conditions, according to Agriculture Canada, here mere meters away from the Atlantic Ocean.
It hasn't rained. We've only got trace amounts of rain, and it's really starting to stack. The well's gone dry, vegetation is starting to dry up, you know, and it's looking a little grim, actually.
It doesn't help that the animals are parched, slurping up these buckets way faster than normal.
This grazing field in St. John's is looking pretty yellow and pretty short, and that's making it just a little bit more complicated to feed all these animals.
Because we don't have any irrigation on this now, I would think that I'll probably have to start feeding them the winter's hay, pretty soon.
That could be expensive for farmer Jim Lester. When he's done it before, it's because the grass was too wet, not too dry.
You'll see a lot of fellows having to bring their cattle and their sheep home from the community pastures, whereas normally we can leave them out till the 1st of December or at least the end of October.
There's no easy solution to these problems. Lester expects come this fall, he'll have to sell some animals or buy more feed. There's one option that everybody agrees on: hope for rain, and lots of it. Garrett Berry, CTV News in Mobile, Newfoundland and Labrador.
Some dramatic moments caught on video. As 179 passengers and crew had to use emergency slides to exit a plane on fire at a Denver airport. One person was rushed to hospital and 5 others were treated on scene. Officials say that the American Airlines jet was headed to Miami when a landing gear issue sparked a fire. There's a renewed hope of a ceasefire in the ongoing conflict between Thailand and Cambodia. A Thai official is confirming representatives from both countries could meet today.
I suppose so. I look forward to that.
The armed conflict between Thailand and Cambodia broke out last week. Around 30 people, mainly civilians, have been killed, and more than 200,000 people have been forced to flee border regions between the two countries. Tensions over disputed areas have intensified ever since the killing of a Cambodian soldier in May. In Michigan, a man who allegedly went on a stabbing rampage in a Walmart is in custody and set to be charged with a number of offenses, including terrorism.
Mr. Gilley's history shows prior assaultive incidents as well as controlled substance violations. A motive has not yet been determined.
42-year-old Bradford Gillies is accused of stabbing shoppers inside the Walmart on Saturday before being detained by bystanders in the store's parking lot. Officials say that the terrorism charge will be laid because the attack impacted a community rather than just an individual. A Saskatchewan golf club just held a party for a member who hit 100 Alvin Mitchell didn't shoot 100 at the Thompson Lake Golf Course. He turned 100 years old. Families say that the former farmer and rancher didn't start playing golf until he was 45. Mitchell got a lifetime membership at the course during the party, which pro shop manager Vaughn Weisberger says that he'll hopefully get to use for many more years. With over 60 years of experience on the course, Mitchell still joins local tournaments. His most recent tourney being just last week. He will rarely miss his weekly men's and couples nights or his daily tee time, adjusting his schedule to ensure that there are 18 holes of golf in the day. Taking a look at Confusion Corner right now. Good start to your Monday morning. No stalls or crashes to be aware of.
All right, it's 13 degrees, still with a little bit of fog outside. Winds on the lighter side, 6 clicks out of the west-northwest. The pressure rising and the humidity is sitting at 100%. A bit of fog, yes, but a bit more smoke in areas to the north of us. Through central and northern Manitoba, the smoke warnings remain in place, a little bit to the west, a little bit to the east as well. Nothing here in the south, although that could change. We are expecting unfavorable winds today. Not that they're going to be strong and intense, but they will be out of the northwest, and it could draw more of that smoke back into southern Manitoba again. As far as precipitation goes, the possibility is there, but it's not just through central Manitoba or southern Manitoba. Parts of northern Manitoba also could be seeing a little bit of brief shower activity passing through, maybe even a thunderstorm in some places, mid to high teens or low 20s. But then there is still going to be some of that heavier smoke, especially here through parts of north central Manitoba. Low 20 temperatures are expected today, where that smoke will be most prevalent, and then mid-20s for most of southern Manitoba. A little bit warmer here. Now, that chance of precipitation passing through, showers possibly off and on, brief and really not amounting to too much. And mid-20s today, beautiful temperatures. We will perhaps see a little more sunshine once this fog burns off and those midday clouds with the possible showers pass through into the evening time, the sky clearing out a little bit more so. And then tomorrow, actually, temperatures dropping a couple of degrees before they begin to rise again, and we'll be feeling that heat by the end of the week.
Thank you, Terry. Now joining us is Chrissy from 131 Virgin Radio. I'm not seeing Ace, but he tends to pop out sometimes. I heard you guys had a great weekend.
You're right, we did. He's not here, nor is Lloyd. I'm by myself today.
Oh, well, good to see you.
And that's okay because, yeah, on the weekend I was hanging out with Colleen, so the two of us were doing the Folklorama kickoff. So don't panic. They always do the kickoff a week before the actual festival. So this Sunday, Folklorama begins, and it will run until the 16th. It is the 54th year of Folklorama. And so this is a preview that takes place at Assiniboine Park on the Lyric Theatre stage, and it was fantastic. So here's what I learned while hosting. Pavilion of Scotland will celebrate its 50th year this year, and the Ina Sutton Dance Group is one of the founding members of the Scotland Pavilion. They're celebrating their 60th year. Imagine a dance group, 60 years dancing together. And so Scotland, the Pavilion of Scotland, will have haggis poutine as one of their dishes for only the Late Show, which I'm very excited about. I truly am a fan of haggis. And if you are familiar with the orange soda that comes out of Scotland, I believe it's spelled IRN brew. I've always pronounced it Earn Brew. They told me that's incorrect. It's actually Iron Brew. And Ainsley, they're bringing it in as a Slurpee this year. So there's also the Chinese pavilion. Yeah, I know. Week 2, there's going to be a modern Chinese pavilion. There's also going to be a French-Canadian pavilion. Folklorique de la Rivière Rouge is back this year. They took a year off to travel and dance internationally. They're going to have a traditional French-Canadian kitchen party with live music all week. So very lively and traditional French-Canadian fare. The Pearl of the Orient Philippines pavilion. So they've moved locations. They're now in St. Norbert, where the farmers market is held, only in the Arts Center indoors. So you have the opportunity to watch the show and dine at the same time, which wasn't the case last year. They have 180 performers who have been practicing every Sunday since October for this pavilion. And then Ukraine, Kyiv, they're going to have an actual vendors market and a farmers market during their whole pavilion. So everything starts this Sunday.
I feel like I needed to grab my pen so I could write everything down. Thank you so much. Switching gears now. A Montreal barber is raising money for Ukraine, one haircut at a time. The teenager has founded a special charity to help those facing hardship overseas. CTV's Olivia O'Malley reports.
Alexander Yakimiu Martin first learned to cut hair in school. Now a part-time barber, he takes each client's haircut seriously, with passion and precision. But lately, each cut has taken on more meaning.
I wanted to do something personal to help Ukraine. So I'm a barber, so I thought, why not use that skill to do some good?
The 16-year-old created Haircuts for Hope. He first got the idea after giving a haircut to a Ukrainian refugee at his church. Now he's doing it at Dynasty Barbershop in Point Claire, where he's worked for the past year. He donates $10 from every cut to help keep lights on in classrooms and rebuild schools in war-torn Ukraine.
It gives them the same chance that I have to learn with light and without bombs.
The teenager says he feels lucky to live here, especially since he has relatives back in Ukraine. What's happening to his family's home country is never far from mind. He wears a Ukrainian trident around his neck, a symbol of resilience amid the ongoing fight for freedom.
My grandparents are Ukrainian. My parents are Ukrainian. We grew up speaking Ukrainian in our house, and we stayed really close to our heritage.
His co-workers say taking on the fundraiser at such a young age proves why he's a cut above the rest.
I'm super proud of him, and all of us here are. It's super cool that he could use his passion and his craft to fund this whole thing and make a real difference in the world.
Yakimiu Martin is well on his way to raising his goal of $1,000.
It's nice knowing that my money's going to a good cause.
You want texture powder or no?
Especially when his clients are so pleased with the end result.
I love it. It's great, yeah. He's an amazing barber.
Yakimiu Martin hopes the buzz continues to grow so he can give back even more to schools in Ukraine. Olivia O'Malley, CTV News.
Winnipeg's favorite cultural celebration is back, and we want you to go. Folklorama returns from August 3rd to 16th. We're giving you the chance to win a pair of 2 tour visas, giving you access to explore all 44 of their pavilions. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Enter that clue word, world. Good luck. Here's the Provencher Bridge. Volumes look good, the sun is out. More news, weather, and traffic on the way. Good morning, Manitoba. I hope you had a great weekend. I'm in for Rochelle once again this week. World Hepatitis Day is today, so we're chatting with a researcher from the University of Manitoba, getting the latest updated numbers, and from what I hear, they are climbing. 8:15, we have a chat with Mayor Scott Gillingham. He's going to fill us in on some of the feedback from the new transit system and more. First, here's a look at your headlines. Wildfires burn near northern communities. Crews work to hold back flames near Thompson and Leaf Rapids. Plus, Canada's trade war continues. Why the port of Churchill could become a strategic game changer. And Old Wheels' new adventures. The trade-up program putting kids at the driver's seat. Speaking of kids at the driver's seat, I understand that you were a passenger. I don't want to use the word passenger princess, but I did take the words out of your mouth.
It's exactly how I captioned my Instagram post.
Yeah.
Yes, I took a road trip over the weekend, went back to Saskatchewan to the farm that I grew up on, but I rode shotgun as my kid drove, so.
I love that.
Nice to, yeah, they finally make themselves useful after a while. Only took us how many years? I'm joking, obviously, but yeah, no, it was a lovely trip. We had some great weather out there, some spectacular storms that we rolled through, though, my goodness. And then when I came back and saw how much rain you got here, apparently Sunday was a little bit of a deluge. So anyway, let's talk about today, shall we? A little bit of fog out there to kick off your Monday morning. 13 degrees. Those temperatures are very normal for this time of year. We've got a 6K wind out of the west-northwest with the pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 100%. Fog for us, but smoke for some. And you can see the purple on our warnings map lit up once again through central and northern Manitoba. And we may in fact notice some of that smoke increasing as the winds today, overnight, and still tomorrow will remain out of the northwest. west. There's not a whole lot going on the satellite image. We're on the clearer side behind that fog. There is a little bit of passing precipitation in areas just to the north of us, and the possibility is there, in fact, throughout the province, of seeing some very scattered patchy showers. There you can see kind of just little speckles of green showing up all over the place, but no one place will see any massive amount of rain. Now, tomorrow, another round could be moving through there in the southwestern part of the province, probably not necessarily catching us. We will perhaps have some slightly cooler temperatures for tomorrow here in Winnipeg, and that's ahead of them rising throughout the rest of the week. So mid-20s today, just a bit of a drop-off tomorrow, and then the mercury, yes, climbing up into the high 20s by the end of the week. And our art today is thank you to Isaiah, 6 years old, who took a little bit of time to draw this pretty picture for us. So keep the art coming, please. We appreciate you sending to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. Fire crews are still working to contain wildfires near some northern Manitoba communities. An update from the city of Thompson on Sunday says that Manitoba Wildfire Service teams are working on the north flank of fire NO061, which is the closest one to Thompson. Helicopters are providing water bucket support. Crews will work on the southern flank when work on the north side wraps up. The update says that 2 new fires started in the north on Saturday, but crews are confident that they can contain them. Temperatures will be in the 20 to 24 degree range today, with early afternoon showers possible in Thompson. And winds in the north are expected to be 15 to 20 kilometers per hour from the northwest, gusting to 30. The town of Leaf Rapids says that a roving fire engine continues to extinguish hotspots in that community. Fuel is again available for vehicles and generators as the co-op card lock is operating again. Further reports from Leaf Rapids say that the fire moved easterly again with the winds and crossed the highway at the north end of the airport. 5 dozers continue to create dozer lines. The car belonging to a Manitoba senior who's been missing for over a week has been found. RCMP say that Stuart Campbell was last seen at around 3:30 a.m. on July 15th. Mounties released this image of the 69-year-old. Campbell's vehicle was found on a road east of Starbuck on Thursday morning. RCMP's search and rescue unit is conducting a ground and aerial search. Police say that he may be confused and disoriented, and officers are concerned for his well-being. People living in the area where the vehicle was found are asked to check out for any signs of the missing man. Anyone with information on his whereabouts are asked to call 911 or the RCMP. Returning to Canada's trade war with the U.S. is now the issue, putting a spotlight on a remote port in northern Manitoba. The port of Churchill could soon be a very strategic asset. CTV's Alex Karpa looks into the role it could play.
The port of Churchill, nestled along the shores of Hudson Bay in northern Manitoba, has become an important piece of the puzzle as the Canada-U.S. trade war rages on, and expanding it has a new sense of urgency.
We're building infrastructure, trade-enabling infrastructure for the future.
The port has a brief operating window each summer and is currently Canada's only Arctic seaport serviced by rail, and it's the shortest link from the prairies to the Atlantic Ocean, offering access to Europe and destinations around the world.
Building this trade-enabling infrastructure will further enable the vast resources we have in Western Canada out to global markets.
Last week, Manitoba and Saskatchewan signed an agreement with Arctic Gateway Group, which owns and operates the port, to upgrade infrastructure and modernize supply chains.
With the ice breaking and with properly built ships to withstand the ice, we could operate 12 months a year.
Barry Prentice says there is a lot of economic opportunity for Saskatchewan and Alberta to move products through the Hudson Bay.
You want to move bulk products, especially those that are somewhat storable, and potash fits in that category, as do minerals, petrochemicals, and even that matter, I suppose, some lumber.
All the talk about breathing new life into the Arctic comes as welcome news for those living in the north.
It's good for the country because it's another outlet of being able to ship, and kind of helps, with some of these bottlenecks that you kind of see logistically across the country.
In recent years, the federal and provincial governments have invested millions of dollars into the rail line and the port in Churchill to build up a trade route through the Arctic so Canadian products can reach markets globally. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The Canadian government is condemning Hong Kong authorities for issuing arrest warrants for pro-democracy activists based overseas. Hong Kong has put out arrest warrants for 19 activists, including Canadians. They are accused of subversion. It includes bounties ranging from $25,000 to $127,000 US. One of the people on the list is Canadian activist Victor Ho.
This is a kind of typical transnational repression action. It won't hurt me because I'm a Canadian, so no fear and no surprise.
Canada has called the warrants an act of repression, transactional, rather, repression. The RCMP is confirming at least one person is dead following a small plane crash Saturday in Newfoundland and Labrador. The incident occurred near the airport in the town of Deer Lake. Officials say that the aircraft crashed just 3 minutes after takeoff. The names of the passengers on board have not been released. The Transportation Safety Board is investigating. Canada's Leila Fernandez is entering the National Bank Open as a DC Open winner.
Fantastic. Fernandez dominates in DC, her biggest title today.
The 22-year-old from Laval cruising to the title on Sunday, defeating her Russian opponent 6-1, 6-2 in the final. The lopsided win came after a big week of tight matches, including wins over Jessica Pegula, Taylor Townsend, and Elena Rybakina. She's scheduled to begin the National Bank Open at home in Montreal tomorrow morning. Music, dance, art, storytelling, all in celebration and tribute to Indigenous culture, filled Nawe-Odena over the weekend.
Our ancestors, the ones that have come before us. We have opened that
Treaty 1 Development Corporation hosted the two-day festival. The event featured traditional powwow, Anishinaabe, Idol, Indigenous market, and children's activities, all with free admission. While the festival was open to everyone this year, the organization extended the invitation to wildfire evacuees.
And we invited them out and said, hey, we know some of the people there might have missed their treaty days in their community. Bring them out to this event and let them now have a weekend where they can have some fun and enjoy a weekend.
Mercer says that Nawe-Odena is the largest jointly held urban reserve in Canada. The land was formerly home to Kapong Barracks military base. The site will continue to host events for various Indigenous organizations, including the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs. This Calgary nonprofit helps put kids on bikes.
They want them. This is freedom for a kid.
Youth En Route held its bike trade-up this weekend. Kids who have outgrown their bikes can get a new one for free in exchange for leaving their old bike for someone else. The next trade-up is planned for October. Here's the St. James Bridge. Traffic volumes are flowing nicely at 7:09 this morning. Joseph joins us from Big Brothers Big Sisters alongside Volunteer Manitoba. What a rewarding volunteer opportunity, Joseph.
Yeah, it certainly is, Ainsley, and there's many organizations that definitely need our support. Good morning, Manitoba, if you're just joining us. As Ainsley mentioned, we're with Big Brothers Big Sisters Manitoba. It's been a great morning talking to their volunteers. It's a conversation we're going to be having again in just about 20 minutes' time, as we did in the 6 o'clock hour, getting the perspectives of an organization that's been around for 55 years. It's the 55th anniversary, actually, since Big Brothers started in 1970, and then they joined forces with Big Sisters in 1997. So they've been bringing 55 years of connecting youth with volunteers across the city from ages 7 to 17. They can come to a place like this, spend a couple hours together each week or each month. It's really up to that volunteer commitment, of course. Throughout the show, we're going to be having some other conversations with Folklorama, hopefully later on, as well as Volunteer Manitoba, getting a perspective on what organizations need our support. So stay tuned later on in the show today for some more great conversations for your Monday morning CTV Morning Live.
Thanks, Joseph. I volunteered to go on the roof.
You want to come up here? I wouldn't want to give up my spot, though. I mean, you could come and join me up here. There's a lot of deadheading to be done after the weekend.
I take it back.
Okay. Do you know you like deadheading? Honestly, it's one of my favorite little activities to do. I find it so therapeutic almost, and knowing how much the plants love it. So it's the act of like taking the little shriveled heads off. I don't know if you can see like where they're shriveled and they've kind of like dried up like that. Can you see? Yeah, that used to be a flower that looked like a nice flower, and now it doesn't, so we get rid of it. And then it allows space for the new flower to grow. Your plants will love you if you do that. Anyway, 14 degrees and they are well saturated after all of that rain yesterday. I was talking about the 30+ millimeters in my rain gauge, so I don't need to water them. I just need to pluck those little dry heads off. 14 degrees with barely a breeze. It's a 5K wind out of the west-northwest. The pressure rising, humidity at 100%. So yes, there is a little bit of that dampness to the air. That humidity will certainly be a factor later on today as these temperatures soar. And I mean, they're not going to soar well beyond what you would expect this time of year, but we could hit highs of about 25 and it could feel like 30 degrees because of that humidity factored in. Sun is up. It's looking good out here this morning. The fog beginning to burn off. Plenty of sunshine to begin the day. We might see a few more clouds building. There's also the possibility around the province of some brief passing showers, but mid-20 temperatures today, and it will get hot by the end of the week.
CTV Morning Live Weather is brought to you by Destination Dinner Stage, Manitoba's only musical dinner theater.
Joseph's conversation with Volunteer Manitoba inspired our question of the day. We wanted to ask you guys, what's one cause close to your heart and one that you'd love to support through volunteering? The question of the day has also moved from Twitter, so we want you to text in your answer. That's 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. At CTV Morning Live, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, and whether they're furry, feathered, or even scaly, your Pet of the Week submissions, they've been awesome. We want to see more of them, please. So whether it's dogs, cats, birds, any other pet pals, send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca. Catch us every Thursday between 6 and 9 to find out if your pet is the Pet of the Week on CTV Morning Live. And more CTV Morning Live is coming up very shortly. Stick with us. Good morning. All eyes will be on the Bank of Canada this week as it makes its next decision on interest rates. Economists polled by Reuters think that the central bank will hold its benchmark rate steady at 2.75%. Those experts made that prediction citing a recent rise in inflation and a slight fall in unemployment. Analysts have also pointed to a lack of clarity around the impact of U.S. tariffs, especially as trade talks come down to the wire. The Bank of Canada announces its interest rate decision on Wednesday. That same day, the U.S. Federal Reserve will be announcing its own decision on interest rates. Markets expect central bank will also hold U.S. interest rates steady at 4.25 to 4.5%. That would go against calls from President Trump, who's been pushing Fed Chair Jerome Powell to cut rates. He's been pressuring the traditionally independent institution, but officials have signaled that they want to see the impacts of U.S. tariffs before easing rates any further. The newest trade deal announced by the U.S. with the European Union.
It's a huge deal. It will bring stability. It will bring predictability. That's very important for our businesses on both sides of the Atlantic.
The framework of the deal will see a 15% baseline tariff on EU exports. It also calls for significant investment from the EU on U.S. energy and military equipment. This is not the no tariff deal EU members wanted, but it's also lower than the 30% tariff threatened by the U.S. President Trump is still in Scotland this morning. He's expected to meet with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer at his Turnberry golf course. Saturday's sky was so clear it gave butterflies in the Living Prairie Museum. Literally, the museum hosted its annual Monarch Butterfly Festival over the weekend. This was their 17th event. Live butterfly displays, guided walks, and crafts were there. Monarch butterflies are facing survival threats due to climate change. The event aimed to raise awareness and call to public action.
Extreme weather, it means it can be hotter or drier in their habitats, so they don't have the food and plants they need to survive. The biggest one is helping to create habitat. So you live in the city, you can plant milkweed and other wildflowers. That's the #1 thing people can help with.
The curator, Marika Olenek, said that tracking the monarch butterfly population is quite difficult because that they're also widespread. She added that planting a variety of native plants helps not just monarch butterflies, but also other friends like bees. Here is Osborne Street right now. Traffic volumes are certainly picking up on your Monday, but no major delays to report.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
In entertainment news, Sam Smith's new single will have you feeling free.
Pray your heart be lighter.
Smith just shared the new single called To Be Free. The track is backed by Two City Chorus and continues their journey to self-expression and acceptance. You can see Sam in New York for a 12-night residency starting this October. Drake has a new single.
Good. Yeah, all the girls that's here for the shoot, come put two hands on the DJ boot and wind your waist.
Just ahead of a 3-night run of shows in Manchester, Drake released his new track called Which One? The song is in collaboration with UK rapper Central C and features a dance hall beat. It's the latest release off his upcoming album Iceman. South Park is poking fun at U.S. President Donald Trump. In the latest episode of South Park, it features U.S. President with Satan. It's a jaw-dropping takedown that made waves in the White House and has led to a bit of backlash. South Park creator Trey Parker made a mock apology saying he's terribly sorry. This one's getting added to the playlist. Jennifer Lopez celebrated turning 56 with her new song, Birthday. The pop singer dropped the song and video while on tour. The track marks her first solo release of the year. Your primetime lineup kicks off at 7 with American Ninja Warrior, followed by Match Game, and E-Talk wraps up the night at 10:30. It's all right here on CTV. Well, she can move at 56. Did you see the J-Lo clip?
Moving. Like, honestly, no, wow. I only saw the clip there.
Yeah.
So.
Mind-blowing.
Okay.
Okay, how is it outside?
You know what? It's pleasant outside right now. It's going to warm up today, and not so much with the temperatures. I mean, yes, they will be, but the bigger factor in today will be that humidity and what it's going to feel like once you're factoring those two together. Here's a look right now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Still a little bit of that hazy fog out there. We might be seeing more haze as the day goes on, and that's going to be due to these winds out of the northwest today, perhaps drawing more of this smoke in. Waking up, though, to temperatures that are fairly pleasant. I mean, 14 degrees right now in Winnipeg and in Brandon, 16 in Portage, 18 in the Morden Winkler area. So some places are already feeling a few degrees warmer yet. Swan River, 9 degrees for you. The other place we've got single digits is Thompson, but you're already starting to make some gains today. Churchill at 9 degrees. The heavier smoke that's still through north and central Manitoba. No warnings listed for us here in the south, but we will perhaps notice that smoke increasing through the day. Winds out of the northwest through the day, overnight, and still tomorrow. So no surprise if we do start to see increasing haze or eventually just straight up smoke. The possibility of some passing precipitation, and nearly everybody may see some of that today. Temperatures, well, they're going to be pretty pleasant overall if it weren't for the humidity. The humidity might make things a little more stifling. Here's our noontime temperatures in the low 20s or across the north in those mid to high teens. We'll make it to about 25 degrees, but it could feel like 30 once you're factoring in that humidity throughout the day today. So 23 tomorrow is just a little bit cooler than that, and then the mercury on the rise. We've got some hot stuff later this week. The sky was absolutely stunning last night, and so many people snapped incredible pictures of the sunset. This one by Susan. Keep the photos coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
It's time now for this week's adorable adoptables. We begin with Ficus. 8 years young and full of love. She's sweet, social, and purrs for pets. Her fur's growing back, so is her sparkle. Next is Rusty, 2 years old and full of zoomies. She's playful, sweet, lives for attention. From toy chasing to cuddle breaks, this pooch is all about fun, love, and non-stop tail wags. Meet Hennessy, a 2-year-old cuddle pro. Sweet-faced and sweeter-natured. He loves his humans and making friends fast. He's a bit picky with other pups, so slow intros are key. If you think you can offer any of these animals a good home, just head down to the Winnipeg Humane Society or give them a call. The number is on your screen. Some researchers have come up with a video game about fighting climate change, and it's solar-powered. It's modification of Minecraft, where players can build a better world. CTV's Christine Long has more.
Scavenge the land.
The Enigma of Gaia is a multiplayer survival game that uses the Minecraft platform. Rosie McDonald is on the team that's been working on this for more than a year.
We've added mods to the game that include pollution. We've added temperature and thirst. We've added devastating storms that destroy the landscape. And so that's not in regular Minecraft. It's a lot harder to play this way, but it gets players to think very differently.
Oh no, I'm in the tornado.
Challenges include rebuilding after a climate catastrophe in a Minecraft world.
A tornado passes and then it just eviscerates the land. It takes away the dirt, the grass, the trees, the leaves, everything. It makes splotches. You'll have to jump to where you want to go. It makes traversal extremely hard.
This game is named after Mother Earth, so it's powered in an environmentally friendly way.
This experiment is, what does the world look like where solar power is ubiquitous? More specifically, what does gaming look like in that world? And to experiment with that, we need to build the infrastructure.
Solar panels on the roof of the Concordia EV building are connected directly to a solar controller and a battery that's then powering a mini PC that's used as a server.
If one person is playing in a power expensive manner, then everybody suffers. So when you create these conditions, people have to play in a more mindful way.
The game is not just something that you can play whenever you want. It's always dictated by the external environment of the sun, the clouds.
Solar power levels fluctuate and are shown on screen in real time, encouraging more collaborative play.
There's a lot of consideration and a lot of just thought put into play that would otherwise be kind of mindless.
Mindful Minecraft, a building block in ecological gaming. Christine Long, CTV News.
Coming up after the break, Joseph Bernacki is chatting with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Volunteer Manitoba joins him too. Stay with us. Walking into an organization, organizers often say without volunteers, this doesn't happen, and Big Brothers Big Sisters is no different. Joseph Bernacki joins us now.
Thanks, Ainsley. Good morning, Winnipeg. If you're just joining us, very pleased to be joined by Ariel Lekai. She is one of the many volunteers here from Big Brothers Big Sisters. A pleasure to have you on our show this morning.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit for our viewers tuning in this morning, Ariel. What the last 5-6 months have been like since you joined, where you got your match in February, you joined last November. What the last 6-7 months has been like?
It's just been so much fun. I think when you're joining an organization, you don't really know what to expect, but you hope to have a good time, and that's exactly what they've delivered.
And you get a chance to do all different kinds of things with your match, be it, baking cupcakes you mentioned before we were live, to all different kinds of things. Talk to us a little bit about what some of those experiences have been like.
Big Brothers Big Sisters is really lucky to have a ton of local supporters, so we've been doing things all over the city. Some things we've done have gone to Activate. We've had kind of a community picnic at the park. We're going to Rainbow Stage in a few weeks, but we also do just the one-on-one stuff of my match is very interested in art, and so we've done baking, we've done painting. We have done stuff at the local library, so really just exploring the city and giving them as many experiences as possible.
And I think it's kind of neat too for viewers tuning in, if they're unaware, Big Sisters can be matched with little brothers. Your match is a little brother. Talk to me about that relationship.
Yeah, so I have a little brother in real life, and then I have a little brother through the program as well. They really just want to match personalities. They really just want to match people who can provide something to a little one who just maybe needs a safe adult in their life. It is a little bit unique to have an older sister with a younger brother, but it's been nothing but fulfilling. I was a little nervous at first just because of that cross-gender match, but they've really supported me through any resources I needed and just walking me through what it might be like to have that cross-gender match.
And Ariel, before we wrap up this segment, what would you say to somebody tuning in quickly if they'd like to join this organization, why it'd be a great choice?
I would say just apply. They're going to walk you through what to expect, what the time commitment is, and what you can hope to get out of it. The biggest thing to know is that there's about 100 kids on the waiting list just waiting to be matched with, like I said, a safe adult who can just provide them these experiences and dedicate some one-on-one time. It's not really that much time. You meet every week, every couple weeks, and they're really supportive about what activities there are in the community and what your match in particular might like. So just send in that application, go through the training, meet with your mentoring specialist, and see if it's something that you think that you can do.
Ariel, it's been a pleasure to have you on our show and the volunteer work, of course, that she does for our community. We'll be back at 7:42 with more conversations from Big Brothers Big Sisters and Volunteer Manitoba.
Thank you, Joseph. Terry, over the weekend, the Saturday, I know that you were out of province, but nice. It was really nice. And then yesterday
was the rain.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I saw my rain gauge on the rooftop, more than 30 millimeters. Ooh, look who's joining us this morning. Hello. Aren't you pretty? Is that a little hawk? What have we got out there? Is that the falcon that usually comes to visit us? We don't know. You tell us if you know at home. All right, we'll have to wait until he actually looks at us. Hello. 14 degrees, winds out of the west-northwest, 5 clicks. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 100%. Oh, it's nice to have a little bit of company up there first thing. We've got our smoke warning map lit up again with northern and central Manitoba under those heavy smoke warnings. The slightly downgraded advisory is getting pushed further and further off to the east as it becomes just heavy smoke through much of northwestern Ontario as well. We don't have any warnings issued here in the south, but it may only be a matter of time. We are expecting winds today out of the northwest, and not just today, overnight and throughout tomorrow as well. There's also the possibility of some very scattered precipitation. For now, it's on the clearer side, clear but a little bit foggy, then partly sunny and maybe still a little bit hazy as that smoke is expected to increase. 25 degrees. Speaking of increasing, the temperatures will be climbing mid-20s today and back down to a seasonal 13 overnight. Tomorrow might be just a little bit cooler than today, but the sun will be back again, or at least a mix of sun and cloud, and then from there the temperatures really start to rise later on into the week. So that heat will be coming back as we're up into the high 20s by Friday and into the weekend.
Thanks for that, Terry. 3 candidates are now registered for the upcoming by-election to replace a Winnipeg councillor. Emma Durand-Wood has been living in the Elmwood since 2008. She helped reestablish the Glen Elm Neighborhood Association, co-founded Trees Please Winnipeg Coalition, and is the vice chair of the Chalmers Neighborhood Renewal Corporation. Zakaria Salahadin has lived in Elmwood for 13 years and is a graduate of Elmwood High School and the University of Winnipeg, earning a degree in International Development Studies. And Carmen Prefontaine has called the ward home as both a child and adult. She has served in various executive roles with the Canadian Union of Public Employees and has 15 years of experience working for the city. All 3 are looking to fill a seat left behind by the late Jason Schreier, who died suddenly in April. Voters in Elmwood, East Kildonan will head to the polls on October 25th. Quebec's provincial police force is investigating after a number of boat motors were stolen from a marina on Lake St. Francois, east of Montreal. 6 boats were targeted on Friday, with thieves stealing their stern drive engines. If they're removed improperly, the boat can sink. In this case, 5 boats did sink. This type of engine can sell for as much as $15,000. The marina's owners believed an organized network of thieves working on the area, as a number of thefts have been reported this summer. The SQ didn't confirm any details. Fresh off the announcement of his EU trade deal, U.S. President Donald Trump is meeting with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer this morning. The 2 leaders are meeting at President Trump's Turnberry Golf Course in Scotland. Gaza and the trade are expected to top the agenda. The UK has reached a framework on trade with the U.S., but they're still hoping to avoid 50% steel and aluminum tariffs from the U.S. President Trump yesterday ruled out changes, saying those talks are done. 179 and crew had to exit their plane on Saturday while it was on the Denver airport runway after a possible landing gear issue sparked a fire. Dramatic video captured the scene as passengers used emergency slides to exit the aircraft. Some could be seen carrying small children as smoke poured out of the plane. 5 people were evacuated for injuries at the scene and was taken to hospital, and 1 was taken to hospital, rather. Officials say that the American Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8 was bound for Miami when it experienced a maintenance issue with a tire. The U.S.'s Federal Aviation Administration is investigating. Just like last year, it's the summer of summer. Summer McIntosh opened the Swimming World's Championship in a big way on Sunday, winning gold in the 400-meter freestyle. She finished that race in just 3 minutes and 56.26 seconds, a shade under the world's record that she set at the Canadian trials last month. This is the first of 5 golds she hopes to earn in the competition. Her second shot at gold is today in the 200-meter individual medley. Michael Phelps is the only other person to ever win 5 individual medals in the Worlds. He also did that at the Olympics. It sure was hot on Saturday afternoon, but was that enough to stop Winnipeg from kicking off Folklorama? The answer is absolutely not. The festival officially launched at the Lyric Theatre and Field in Assiniboine Park. It was the only day for visitors to see all 43 pavilions and their ambassadors in one place. Ethno-cultural performances, a children's area, and food trucks were also there. The executive director of the festival described the unique value of the event to Winnipeg.
It's really like having 43 different festivals all over the city. It's something that's really, really unique to Winnipeg. We're truly part of the fabric of the community.
The festival started out in 1973 with 21 pavilions. This year, 43 pavilions all over Winnipeg. The festival is open from Sunday, August 3rd to Saturday, August 16th. Attendees are recommended to check the festival's travel guide on their website, folklorama.ca, for schedules and locations. Taking a look at the current traffic situation along Portage Avenue, this stretch looks quite quiet right now. Let us know if you spot otherwise. Taking a look at your gas prices, the Canadian average stands at $1.34, while the provincial average is slightly lower at $1.30. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.29. The lowest price in the city is $1.19. All this info you can find at gasbuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
We've got more coming up after this break. It's 14 degrees.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
It's 14 degrees outside, still a little bit of that foggy haze. Winds out of the west-northwest, 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, that humidity is up there at 100%. 14 degrees, pleasant for this morning. It will be warming up. Not a shocking temperature value we'll be reaching, but because of that humidity and the hot temperature combined, that's what's going to make it feel a little unbearable for some. So mid-20s is where we're probably going to be topping out here in the south. Smoke will be perhaps a bit more of a factor later today. Right now, you can see the warnings in place through central and northern Manitoba, but we've got these northwest winds that could draw more of that smoke in. So not only will the temperature be increasing, that smoke may be increasing as well. And as far as the precipitation goes, it's kind of touch and go. The possibility is there. You can see how unorganized this system is. It's just some very brief scattered showers. That'll be the case around the province today. So possibility of some patchy precipitation, but no one place is going to see any massive amounts of rain. I'd like to show you the temperatures. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Here we go. All right, clicker issues once again. 15 degrees expected in Churchill, high teens through the rest of the north, maybe some low 20s, and that possibility of some showers. Northwestern Manitoba, more likely to have the heavier smoke hanging around, so low 20 temperatures, but the smoke will continue to be an issue. Once we're looking into southern Manitoba, again, the possibility of some brief passing showers. Low to mid 20 temperatures, is slightly warmer here in the southeastern part of the province, more so into the mid 20s. Pretty much normal for this time of year. 26 is in fact a normal low, a normal daytime high. A normal low is exactly where we were this morning at 13 degrees. We're probably going to be falling back to that number overnight, and northwestern Ontario may also see a little bit of passing precipitation. Slightly cooler tomorrow, but only by a couple of degrees, and then we're going to feel those temperatures on the rise again.
Volunteers are so important. Joseph joins us now from Big Brothers Big Sisters. Alongside Volunteer Manitoba, they help us set this up with Leftovers Foundation.
Yes, thank you, Ainsley. Good morning, Winnipeg. If you're just joining us, very pleased to be joined by Alyssa Wolf. She is the Winnipeg City Coordinator for the Leftovers Foundation. Really cool work you guys get to do. Tell us a little bit about your organization, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks. So I work for the Leftovers Foundation. It's a food rescue charity. So we move food that is still perfectly edible but unsellable from retailers like grocery stores, bakeries, and restaurants, and get it to people who need it.
You guys have your home harvest program, really interesting. You're looking for regular gardeners, growers in the city that might have a little bit of extra food. What are you looking for, hoping to, provide food security for those in need?
Yeah, so much like our rescue food program, our home harvest is meant to rescue homegrown produce from people's backyards. There's small gardens, small scale farms. So our volunteers will pick it up, even harvest it if needed, and then deliver it straight to an agency to feed people who need it.
So you guys have a good base of drivers. You mentioned before we were live, your coverage is pretty good, but you're looking for more people to help grow some food. So what would you say to viewers tuning in this morning if they have a little bit of extra produce maybe at home?
Yeah, so our program is completely voluntary. Anybody can sign up as long as you have some food that's, again, still completely edible, at least a box worth. I will plan the logistics of the route. You can get in touch with us, and anybody can sign up.
I'm sure it's a question you guys get asked a lot. What's kind of the window for how long food can be taken from somebody's house or from a business, a grocery store, and then be able to bring that to somebody in need? What's kind of like that window like of time?
Well, much like taking your groceries home, we always say we would never feed something to somebody that we wouldn't eat ourselves. And from your garden, everything should be super fresh still. We do recommend at least 1 week's notice to let us know when things are harvestable. But yeah, from grocery stores and that the sort of retail aspect, it's often things that are past its best before date. People may not understand the difference between expiry and best before, but those items are still perfectly safe to consume.
Yeah, well, we appreciate having you on our show this morning, Alyssa, and we'll be back in the 8 o'clock hour from Big Brothers Big Sisters and Volunteer Manitoba with supporting more organizations in need.
Thanks for that, Joseph. Efforts to boost interprovincial trade have shifted into high gear with different proposals and agreements among provinces. Some businesses are expecting a massive boost as barriers come down, but it won't be easy. CTV's Maria Charot spoke with brewers about the cheers and challenges ahead.
Pouring into new markets and the cups of millions of new customers is on the table. But for some producers, the trouble of moving beer across borders outweighs the benefits, says Lone Oak Brewing's co-owner.
It's probably not something that we would look to offer in the near future based on the logistical challenges and the costs of shipping.
Beer is heavy. Shipping in bulk is pricey, and ideally it should be kept cold. For small producers, these are bigger problems. If transport companies can cut costs and keep kegs cool, that'll help. But otherwise, direct-to-consumer alcohol sales is not a game changer, says the Canadian Craft Brewers Association.
I don't think that it's going to be a huge kind of market opportunity for us.
Even if the freight is figured out, every province plays by different tax rules, running their own regulatory boards. That's another challenge that could shrink profits if a standardized structure isn't put in place.
This is a symbolic move in trade more than anything else. I don't think alcohol is the top issue in Canada these days.
The Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses Atlantic Director adds, if the red tape can be reduced, Canada can create solutions for other industries in the face of Trump's trade war. PEI's finance minister told CTV News in an email statement, there are many administrative details to work out and a lot of complexities involved in changing regulated spaces. But she's optimistic about meeting the May 2026 deadline. For now, the beer at Lone Oak stays local as the rules get a sober review. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
Jermaine Franklin in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. And for it, we head to BC. Tiger Cats, Lions, Bo Levi Mitchell airs one out into the end zone, and Robert Carter Jr. takes it away. Wow, makes a one-handed interception, landing with a barrel roll. Just an incredible catch, reaching out at full extension and bringing the ball in to make one of the best interceptions you will ever see. Carter Jr. full value for the must-see moment from Sunday. Tonight on TSN, we've got some WNBA basketball. The East leading Liberty facing the Dallas Wings. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. Central. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
TSN Must See Moments brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, your Hunter Douglas shade provider for over 40 years. Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful at 900 Lorimer Boulevard, featuring Hunter Douglas shades.
All right, up here this morning, noticing the humidity and yes, my rain gauge. This is all from Sunday, and take a look at that. Just over 30 millimeters. I mean, just over 30 millimeters. But still, that's an impressive amount of rain to have received. And yeah, as a result, I don't have to water the flowers today. Although Mother Nature still could do that. The possibility is there around the province of seeing a brief passing shower. It is on the slimmer side. Most likely just going to be noticing the heat and the humidity combined. 14 degrees with a light wind out of the west-northwest. Pressure rising in the humidity at 100%. So that heat and humidity combined could make 25 degrees today feel like 30. 25 is our expected high today, but it'll feel warmer than that because of the humidity. And the other thing that I noticed as soon as I stepped outside today, starting to smell a little bit smoky. We do have warnings through central and northern Manitoba, and these north winds could draw more of that in.
Thank you, Terry. It's World Hepatitis Day, and while Canada has committed to the World Health Organization's goal of eliminating hepatitis by 2030, here in Manitoba, we're unfortunately going in the wrong direction. Joining us this morning to explain why, and more importantly, what we could do, is Dr. Kelly Kaida, Section Head of the Hepatology and Director of the Viral Hepatitis Investigative Unit. What a title, Dr. Kaida. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Let's start with the basics. What is hepatitis?
So hepatitis, in particular hepatitis C, it's a virus that infects the liver, and over time, whether that's years or decades, it can cause considerable damage, and the end results can sometimes be life-threatening.
Here in Manitoba, what are we seeing in terms of the numbers?
So, you know, there was surveillance data by Government of Canada in 2021 which showed we were on track. In fact, between 2012 to 2018, there was only a slight increase, and then from 2018 to 2020, there was a dramatic decrease in the number of infected individuals. But for some odd reason, in 2021, we saw an upswing in the number of individuals diagnosed. In 2022 data, it looks like it'll be the same. And it's suspected that that might relate to the opioid epidemic and the methamphetamine epidemic that a lot of the provinces are seeing right now.
What are some other factors and some groups that are most highly impacted as well?
So obviously those who participate in recreational drug use, everyone's quite familiar with, but even if you adventure out and you do unprofessional tattoos, body piercing, that's a significant risk factor. Blood transfusions prior to 1990. But I think what is most important is for people to understand that if you're in the age group born between 1945 and 1975, you're 5 times more likely to have been exposed to the hepatitis C virus. So we advocate everyone born between those years to get out and get tested. One single blood test.
What does that look like? How often should people be doing this? I know that's a huge risk factor for that age demo.
Sure.
But should everybody be doing this?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're born between 1945 and 1975, go see your primary care provider, ask for a hepatitis C test. Get tested. Because unless you know you've been tested and you've been diagnosed with or without it, you'll never know. It's a silent disease. Most often people have no symptoms right up until the time when the liver starts to fail.
We have less than a minute left, and so I wanted to say, tell us about the research, but I know that we're not going to get to it to be that concise. From an information standpoint, from an educational standpoint, what do you want people to know?
It's a curable disease. Get tested, get cured, and then we can reach that 2030 goal, hopefully, of eliminating or eradicating hepatitis C globally. Is there any resources or any website that you want to send people to? So I think the Canadian Liver Foundation is an excellent resource to start with. And then beyond that, you know, there are several other resources that you can, you know, even the Viral Hepatitis Investigative Unit has a website that you can take a peek at.
Thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Kelly Kaida. Coming up at 8:06, Joseph Bernanke joins us with Volunteer Manitoba. Stick with us. It's time for Let's Celebrate. Let's see who's having a celebration today. Happy 25th birthday to Ashley, with love and best wishes from your son, stepson, countless friends, and your fiance. Happy birthday to Anthony, with love from your family. Happy 13th birthday to Brady. Love mom, dad, Dylan, Jeremy, Kaylee, and the rest of your family. Happy birthday to Annalise. Love from mom, papa, and grandma. Happy birthday to daughter Madison. Love your mom and everyone. We want to wish you the best day ever. Happy 2nd birthday, Briar. Love from your family. Happy 6th birthday to Kalia. Love mom, dad, and Brandon. Happy 9th birthday to Noah from mom, dad, Jay, and Theo. Happy 10th birthday, Harlan. Love mom, dad, and Rowan. Happy birthday, Auntie Brittany. Love mom, dad, Katrina, Noah, and Elliot. Happy 13th birthday to Ainsley. Love from mom, dad, your sister, and brothers. If someone you care about is having a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or graduation, let's celebrate. To submit your celebration, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Fill out the form in at least 2 days in advance. It's also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Let's celebrate. Brought to you by Party Stuff, 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca.
Good morning, Manitoba. Thank you so much for joining us on your Monday. Coming up in about 15 minutes, Mayor Scott Gillingham is joining us to talk about a variety of things. We chat with him once a month, crime being one of them. Osborne Village has seen a huge uptick in crime and more boots on the ground there as well. So we're going to chat with him about that, the new transit network, how that's been going, if there's been any hiccups from what they've seen, and more. First, here's a look at your headlines. Crossing closed. How much longer will this link between Elmwood and Point Douglas be blocked for maintenance? Gateway to the future. What specific factors have backers touting the benefits of shipping to Europe through Churchill? And longevity on the links. The Saskatchewan golfer who still plays daily celebrates 100 years old, and he's golfing. Oh my goodness. Is today a good day for golfing? I feel like it's going to get warm, eh?
Yeah, it is going to be warm. I mean, morning hours are always best for those outdoor activities, I think, anyway. And then siesta time, once we're reaching those peak temperatures. 14 degrees right now, winds out of the west-northwest, 5 clicks, the pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 100%. There's been a little bit of fog. Our cameras are planted higher up in the sky. You're not noticing that fog necessarily at ground level. You are starting to notice the smoke, or at least I was when I was last outside on the roof only about 10 minutes ago, and a distinct campfire smell out there with that heavier smoke that's starting to move in. Right now, the only place where the warnings are is central northern Manitoba. That is not the case here in southern Manitoba, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do start to get those warnings issued for us as well, as the northwest winds will draw more of that smoke in throughout the day. Not a lot of clouds out there right now. It's just the fog or the haze. And there are a few more clouds in areas just off to the west, with a little bit of that precipitation in areas just to the north of us. But the possibility of seeing some scattered precipitation around the province today. Really touch and go with the precipitation, though. No one place is going to see a massive amount. Unlike on the weekend, my goodness, I've been talking about my rain gauge this morning. Over 30 millimeters of rain, just barely over 30. That's, you know, I'm exaggerating a wee bit. But anyway, 30 millimeters itself, that's a lot of rain to get in one day. So Sunday, yeah, it was definitely a little bit of a soaker. Still could see some of that precipitation rolling through the southwest for overnight and tomorrow. The rest of the province back in the clear. And temperatures, well, tomorrow might be just a little bit shy of the mid-20s. We're getting back up into those mid-20s and then the high 20s later on this week. So we'll certainly feel those temperatures on the rise with hot weather coming our way this weekend, or just by the end of the week. Isaiah, thank you for sharing your art with us, and we always love to see the art. So draw, color, paint, get busy, and send pictures of that art to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada is investigating the crash of a small plane east of Winnipeg that killed one person. The National Safety Agency released a few details, but says that the crash on Saturday morning involved a privately registered Quad City Challenger 2 ultralight aircraft. The Safety Board says that one person was involved in the incident that happened in Dugald. RCMP later confirmed in a news release that they responded to a small single-engine two-seat aircraft crash at around 11 a.m. and a man's body was recovered at the scene. Police say that there were no other occupants on the aircraft. TSB says that it has deployed a team of investigators and is unable to share more information at this time. Now to an important update for Winnipeg commuters. The Louise Bridge is going to be closed even longer because the city found more defects on the bridge. The bridge initially closed for May 23rd for an inspection and maintenance. However, works found that corrosion required repairs. It also set to reopen at the end of July. In an update shared on Friday, the city says it'll remain closed until early September for extra repairs. The city did not say what the additional defects were. It's asking drivers to be patient and use the Disraeli Bridge or Provencher Bridge in the meantime. The ongoing U.S. trade war is putting a spotlight on Churchill, Manitoba. Their port could soon be a serious strategic asset for Canada.
building this trade-enabling infrastructure will further enable the vast resources we have in Western Canada out to global markets.
Manitoba and Saskatchewan signed a memorandum of understanding during the first ministers' meeting in Ontario last week, aimed at revitalizing the port for trade. It's Canada's only Arctic seaport serviced by rail. It's also the shortest link from the prairies to the Atlantic Ocean, which offers access to Europe and other international destinations. Right now, the operating window in the port is short and happens during the summer. But experts say that with ice breaking and properly built ships, they could operate for 12 months per year. The next U.S. tariff deadline is coming on Friday, and President Donald Trump says that there will be no extensions.
The August 1st is there for everyone. The deals all start on August 1st.
The U.S. is threatening Canada with a 35% tariff on non-CUSMA compliant exports. Prime Minister Mark Carney downplayed the possibility of reaching a deal by the deadline during his meeting with premiers last week. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc had a similar message while Canada's trade team was in Washington last week. Minister LeBlanc is expected to be back in D.C. this week for more talks. So far, the U.S. has reached 5 trade agreements. None of them are tariff-free. The Saskatchewan Golf Club just held a party for a member who hit 100. Elvin Mitchell didn't shoot 100 at the Thompson Lake Golf Course. He turned 100 years old. Family says that the former farmer and rancher didn't start playing golf until he was 45. Mitchell got a lifetime membership at the course during the party, which the club's pro shop manager says he'll hopefully get to use for many more years. With over 60 years of experience on the course, Mitchell still joins local tournaments, his most recent tourney being just last week. Here's a look at the Norwood Bridge. No stalls or crashes that we can see. When it's safe and legal, let us know. CTV Morning, WPG. Joseph Bernacki joins us with Volunteer Manitoba. He's talked Big Brothers, Big Sisters. He's talked leftovers. What else are we learning about, Joseph?
Thanks, Ainsley. Well, now it's time for Folklorama, of course. We're getting excited, of course, for next week. We're going to be covering so many pavilions. Very pleased to be joined by their executive director, Teresa Controneo. Pleasure to always have you on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we're talking about volunteers, of course. How many hours, how many volunteers does it take to put together Folklorama?
It's actually something astonishing. I believe that last year we recorded 16,452 volunteer shifts, and that was just during the festival alone. That doesn't take into account the countless hours that they spend meetings, rehearsals, different health and safety training over the year. So it's just an absolutely remarkable feat.
We've got dozens of pavilions, of course, that are going to be back starting next week. How can people who are looking to volunteer get in touch with the individual pavilions, see which ones need a little bit more help? What can you tell us, Teresa?
Yes, good question. So all of our pavilions have their own social media handles. So a lot of them will actually do promotion if they are looking for volunteers. Also, if you're following Folklorama on any of our social media, specifically Instagram, we'll repost and reshare those who are looking. And if you're just interested in volunteering in general, we actually do that through our office. So through our website at folklorama.ca, and we can pass names of people who to pavilions that are interested or looking for some extra support, and they take it from there.
It's such a fun opportunity to represent your cultural background. For people tuning in this morning, Teresa, what would you say to encourage somebody to be a part of your culture, make connections in your community, and share that with others? What would you say to people tuning in?
I would say that, we've heard so much about the fact that this festival, this organization has allowed people to be prideful about, their heritage and who they are. And, I used to hear stories about when you were younger, people not wanting to take certain meals to school because it was smelt different than other people's. And this festival, being able to explore different cultures, has given people an opportunity to really be prideful and to share what makes us such an amazing community.
Awesome. Well, always great to have you on our show. And of course, Folklorama is going to be starting this Sunday coming up, the first week of pavilions. We're going to be bringing you more of that coverage starting next week as well on CTV Morning Live, and we'll have more information on a link on our website.
Joseph, thank you very much. Summer is, of course, in full swing, and health experts are urging people to make sure they're applying sunscreen. However, misinformation spreading online is creating an uphill battle for those trying to keep people safe. CTV's Kathy Lee reports.
The sun hangs heavy in the sky, but Corey Broland finds reprieve in the cool embrace of the shade. He's mindful of the rays for a good reason.
It was basal cell skin cancer.
Broland was diagnosed last year after a bump on his head wouldn't heal.
I had a procedure done in January where they removed it.
The 45-year-old admits he was never diligent about sunscreen, but that's all changed now.
It's like a regular daily skin cream that you got to put on, so every day I do that.
Doctors say sunscreen protects the skin from harmful UV radiation, which can cause skin cancer. But videos on social media like these.
Sunscreen is actually bad for you and can actually cause skin cancer.
A lot of these are linked to cancer, so this is a no for me.
Making it more difficult to keep the facts straight.
They want it to go viral. They want it to be controversial. So they've really taken us, I would say, decades back in terms of sun safety. Reviews from American Academy of Dermatology and Health Canada found that there's no cause for concern with normal sunscreen use.
Spreading misinformation like that scares me a bit because, I mean, this isn't a hard cancer to get.
Skin cancers fall into two categories, non-melanoma and melanoma, the latter being the deadliest form. Data on Melanoma Canada's website shows in 2024, more than 11,000 Canadians would be diagnosed with melanoma, up 17% from the year before. Broland is thankful he wasn't diagnosed with melanoma, but he's not in the clear yet.
That one popped up about.
He'll need to be treated again for a cancer spot on his face, found shortly after the one on his head healed.
They'll just cut it out layer by layer.
And until that appointment, Broland will continue to be sun safe. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
Here's a look right now through the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years, and you can still see some of that foggy haze, but it has more to do with where our camera is situated, higher up into that foggy smoke, whereas at ground level, I promise you it doesn't look anywhere near as bad as that. So don't look at that and think, oh, I don't want to go outside. And if you don't want to go outside in the hot temperatures, get out for a stroll this morning before the mercury rises or before the smoke gets too bad, because that smoke likely will be increasing throughout the day today. It's all due to the northwest winds. Temperatures are already starting to warm up now, too. We're sitting at 17 degrees here in Winnipeg and in Sprague, 18 at the moment in Kenora, and in Portage-la Prairie, 21 already in the Morden-Winkler area, and it's only going to continue to warm up through the day today. Looking through parts of northern Manitoba, remember those cool single digits in Thompson? Well, already into the double digits now as the temperatures start to heat up. And then, of course, we've got to talk about the smoke, because through parts of northern Manitoba, it has still been an issue with the heavy smoke warnings in place through much of central, southern Manitoba, and we're likely to see those being issued as the smoke is drawn in with these northwest winds that we're expecting throughout the day. And not just through the day, overnight and tomorrow still with those northwest winds. The scattered precipitation that we may see today is really not going to amount to much in any one place. Temperatures, though, like I said, they'll be on the rise, and then that and the humidity combined will make it feel pretty stifling for some. Climbing up into those mid-20s today, but it could feel like 30 with the Humidex. A little bit cooler tomorrow, but only by a couple degrees, and then the mercury on the rise as we're looking to a hot end of the week. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
In this digital age, the average human attention span seems to be shrinking. CNN's Mandy Gaither has more on how to focus despite the non-stop distractions that bombard us.
In a fast-paced world, sometimes distractions can slow us down and impact our daily lives.
Job performance suffers, school performance suffers, relationships could suffer as well.
Psychiatrist Dr. Avita Singh with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center says there are many causes of short attention spans, but 4 of the biggest contributors are stress, anxiety, lack of sleep, and digital devices. To help yourself focus, Singh says to remember the acronym TAKE 5. T stands for take frequent breaks, step away from a computer, go for a short walk. She says this time away can help your mind reset. A is for actively engaging in the task at hand. If you're trying to focus on one thing and can't, it may be time for a short break. K is for keeping distractions at a minimum. That may mean putting your devices away, committing to not looking at social media, or letting coworkers know it's not a good time to talk. E stands for eliminating multitasking. Instead, put all your focus on completing one task. Finally, 5 is for 5 minutes. That's about how long you may need to take a break to refocus.
Taking the time to think about these tips and figuring out how they work for your day-to-day life can be really helpful in at least starting to improve attention span, improve focus even a little bit, which can help day-to-day life a lot.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
It's no secret that Winnipeg is dealing with its fair share of challenges, from safety concerns in and around downtown, adapting to a new transit system, to encampments and getting our most vulnerable into housing. Joining us now is Mayor Scott Gillingham to chat about what's happening in and around City Hall and responding. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So we heard some numbers of 44% in Osborne Village, crime increasing. We've talked many times about the Downtown Community Safety Partnership. Is that part of the bigger puzzle?
It is. So the Downtown Community Safety Partnership and the Winnipeg Police Service, our community safety officers, and that's our transit team that provides security on our buses, the downtown biz patrols, all of those agencies and entities are really starting to work together in a real coordinated approach. And that's really key, so that we can identify maybe where there's gaps in service and avoid the overlaps, and certainly allow our police officers to be freed up to do the police work. So many calls that they get, that the police get, really they're not really crime related, they're not police related. So if we can have these other agencies take some of those calls, then that really assists our police to do the police work that is needed.
And that area, as an example, with the increase in crime, they're going to be seeing more officers in that area. How are the funds allocated from a neighborhood to neighborhood basis?
Well, there's really, the City of Winnipeg, we approve the budget for the police service with the help of the police board, but then it's up to the police chief to really and with the police board to determine where and how those funds are spent and deployed. So that's the police chief's prerogative and decision. And you're right, Ainsley, the Osborne Village, the downtown, we're seeing an increase in Winnipeg Police Service foot patrol. In fact, just as I was coming into the studio this morning, I ran into 2 officers, foot patrol officers on Graham Avenue, and they said they really enjoy being foot patrol and getting to meet people, and I know that the members of the public and the businesses really appreciate having the foot patrol back on the beat.
Yeah, even for safe walks, things
yes,
like that.
For sure.
Transit. Let's switch gears. When you put a whole new transit system in, there's going to be maybe some discomfort. Change tends to do that for people. We have had reports earlier on that people waiting maybe 45 minutes. What is your response to that, and what have you been hearing?
You're right. It's the change that we made on June the 29th to go to a whole new transit network. It's the largest one-day change in Winnipeg Transit's 142-year history. We didn't just tweak, we completely changed the entire system so that we have a better system, a modern transit system for a modern city. We're hearing feedback. We want the feedback. We want the negative feedback. We want even the criticism. We want the complaints. We want all of it, because what our staff is going to do in transit is take all that information, what's working, what's not working, and make some adjustments in the coming months. And so we know already that some adjustments need to be made, which is not surprising. As you indicated, it's a whole new system, so we know we're going to have to iron out some of the kinks. But I'm hearing a lot of positive feedback as well. I have been riding the bus more frequently. I do ride the bus from time to time.
Yeah.
I think I've been on the bus 4 or 5 times within the last 2 weeks, which is a lot for me.
Yeah.
I tried different routes to see what's working and what's not.
This is a little bit more lighthearted. The Great Outdoors Comedy Festival you attended, and Martin Short, I'm not going to say he picked some fun at you, but tell us a little bit about that experience.
He did pick fun at me. So I had the privilege of being invited by Martin Short's team to be part of his act, and to he plays a character called Jiminy Glick. A lot of your viewers will have seen the Jiminy Glick.
Yeah.
Or certainly know Martin Short, and so I had the honor of being on stage, kind of like you and I are here now. But he was he's outrageous, in his character, and he's, making fun and having, poking fun at me as well. And it was all in, in good jest. But it was an honor to be part of the legendary Martin Short's act.
Yeah. Well, we're out of time. I can't roast you. Sorry, Mr. Mayor. Thank you so much for being here and answering our questions. Appreciate it. We'll see you next month.
Yeah, up here on the rooftop, noticing again, as soon as I stepped outside, I was like, Oh, it's getting smoky. So if you're finding yourself trapped indoors because of the smoke, you're already at a place now where you're going to want to make sure that those windows are sealed up, as it is only likely to get worse throughout the day today. And the winds, they're on the lighter side, just 3 kilometers per hour, but they are out of the north and will stay coming out of the north or the northwest throughout the day today. 17 degrees, so it is warming up. It does look pretty hazy out here, but otherwise sunny. It's not the clouds that we're seeing so much of as that smoky haze. The pressure rising, humidity sitting at 91%, and the mercury will continue to rise today, topping out in the mid-20s here in southern Manitoba, or low 20s across northern Manitoba, but the smoke across north and central Manitoba is even heavier, and as a result, smoke warnings are in place through much of northern and central Manitoba. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have those smoke warnings issued as this smoke intensifies throughout the day on these north winds. I mentioned mid-20s for today, slight drop off for tomorrow, but then the mercury on the rise, and it's getting hot by the end of the week. It was a stunning sunset yesterday, though, and I had so many incredible photos sent in. This particular shot from Susan. Keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Thank you, Terry. And speaking about those scorching conditions taking a toll across the country, though, even coastal communities in Newfoundland, not typically known for the heat, can't escape it. CTV's Garrett Berry with the impact it's having there.
Between the goats, the turkeys, the ducks, and the bees, Steve McBride has a big and growing family.
I've got over 1 million mouths to feed and water over the course of the day on any given day.
Lately, it's been looking like this. Daily trips to a nearby pond to fill up these 5-gallon buckets of water, one at a time.
We've been here on the homestead, pretty much off the grid, for 12 years now, and I've never seen anything like this, not even close.
That's how dry it has been this summer in Newfoundland. About half of the normal amount of rain has fallen in this region. Moderate drought conditions, according to Agriculture Canada, here mere meters away from the Atlantic Ocean.
It hasn't rained. We've only got trace amounts of rain, and it's really starting to stack. The well's gone dry, vegetation is starting to dry up, and it's looking a little grim, actually.
It doesn't help that the animals are parched, slurping up these buckets way faster than normal.
This grazing field in St. John's is looking pretty yellow and pretty short, and that's making it just a little bit more complicated to feed all these animals.
Because we don't have any irrigation on this now, I would think that I'll probably have to start feeding them the winter's hay, pretty soon.
That could be expensive for farmer Jim Lester. When he's done it before, it's because the grass was too wet, not too dry.
You'll see a lot of fellows having to bring their cattle and their sheep home from the community pastures, whereas normally we can leave them out till the 1st of December or at least the end of October.
There's no easy solution to these problems. Lester expects come this fall, he'll have to sell some animals or buy more feed. There's one option that everybody agrees on: hope for rain, and lots of it. Garrett Berry, CTV News in Mobile, Newfoundland and Labrador.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Memories are made at summer camp, and Manitoba Possible is helping create them for kids with disabilities. They run inclusive and accessible camps across the province. In this month's Commitment to Community, I find out what it means for parents and how these camps are made possible with support from United Way Winnipeg.
Manitoba Possible does incredible work to support kids with disabilities in our community, including camp. And they've got 120 youth participating. Jaylene Irwin joins me now. She's the program manager. Tell us about what's going on, Jaylene.
So Manitoba Possible offers inclusive and accessible sport and recreation for individuals with disabilities. So this summer, we have 18 youth with us here today to promote their independence and life skills journey. So we're really focused on the inclusivity of programs as well.
What are some of the things that they're doing, some of the tangible practices that really help them?
Absolutely. So we focus a lot on social development, so peer-to-peer connections and taking care of their own personal items. So that's a big part of their independence journey, and redirection for a lot of our kids that have that may be on the autism spectrum. So a lot of our staff are educational assistants, or they've worked with kids for a very long time. So we're grateful for them.
And 11 weeks, it really is enough time to dive into it. United Way Winnipeg is a major help in that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're very thankful for United Way's support over the years, and they truly make camp possible for all of our kids with low subsidy registration fees and facility costs and so forth. So we're very grateful for United Way's support.
From personalized support to language therapy, technology, newcomer support, and even parking permits. Camp is just one of the many ways Manitoba Possible is helping families. This is Connie, and Noah is her son, who's been one of the campers for about 10 years now with Manitoba Possible. Tell us about Noah.
So Noah is a 17-year-old boy who, as you said, has been coming to camp. He is an energetic, lovely child who happens to be on the autism spectrum, and he enjoys being outdoors. He enjoys the summers. So this camp and another one that he attends has been awesome for him to be able to utilize.
And socialize too.
And to socialize as well, absolutely. That's one of the things that kids on the spectrum don't necessarily get to do very well, and it gives them an opportunity to be able to do that.
Yeah, you can even see within those activities. While the kids are busy, though, it gives the parents a moment to rest. How important is that?
It is, absolutely. So it allows us as a two-person income household to be able to work so that we don't have to use all of our vacation time because we don't have respite. So it allows us to be able to work, to get benefits for our household, and for him to be able to utilize the program. So,
in the 10 years, what are some of the things you've been able to see, some of the ways you've been able to see him thrive?
Well, the way that he engages with individuals, and again, we often have to teach him how to interact with people and how to socialize and how to react to situations. He's shown a lot of growth in being able to be flexible with situations that don't go his way. And so that's basically the main benefit that we've seen, which has been great. And the staff have seen that as well.
Manitoba Possible has been a United Way Winnipeg agency partner since 1966. Ainsley McPhail, CTV Morning Live, Winnipeg.
Commitment to Community is brought to you by United Way Winnipeg, here for Winnipeg.
Increasing amounts of smoke, and you can smell it now in the city. The winds, they're light, but out of the north, and it's drawing more of that smoke in, and will continue to do so throughout the day today. Temperatures are on the rise, though, 17 degrees. That's up from our seasonal low of 13 this morning. With the pressure rising, the humidity is sitting at 91%, and you can see the heavy smoke out there this morning, and we'll likely see more of that. The area under the smoke warning is starting to grow, starting to stretch just a little bit further now into the south, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have those warnings issued for us later on today. Seeing a bit of precipitation passing through here in the southwest, a bit heavier of rainfall activity, some very scattered showers moving through parts of central Manitoba, and we have the possibility maybe of seeing some of that activity today. Partly sunny, hazy, certainly, and yes, 25 degrees. That's a pretty normal daytime high, 26 being seasonal, and then 13 a normal low temperature, and that's exactly what we're likely to fall to overnight. But still, with those northwest winds drawing more of that smoke in, and even through tomorrow, the winds, at least the direction, doesn't change. The temperatures will drop off just a little bit following. It'll be a little bit of a cold front after some showers pass through today, and then back on the rise as far as the mercury goes, and you can see we go from mid to high 20s where we'll be for the end of the week and the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. Fire crews are still working to contain wildfires near some northern Manitoba communities. An update from the city of Thompson on Sunday says that Manitoba Wildfire Service teams are working on the north flank of fire NO061, which is the closest one to Thompson. Helicopters are providing water bucket support. Crews will work on the southern flank when work on the north side wraps up. The update says that 2 fires started in the north on Saturday, but crews are confident that they can contain them. Temperatures will be in the 20 to 24 degree range today, with early afternoon showers possible in Thompson, and winds in the north are expected to be 15 to 20 kilometers per hour from the northwest, gusting to 30. The town of Leaf Rapids says that a roving fire engine continues to extinguish hot spots in that community. Fuel is again available for vehicles and generators as the co-op card lock is operating again. Further reports from Leaf Rapids say that the fire moved easterly again with the winds and crossed the highway at the north end of the airport. 5 dozers continue to create dozer lines. Air Canada flight attendants begin a strike vote today as contract talks stall. The union's key issues include pay, unpaid work, per diems, and pensions. Voting is open until August 5th, next Tuesday. Air Canada says that they're committed to the bargaining process and remain fully available to resume negotiations. A strike wouldn't be able to take place before a 21-day cooling-off period. A restoration project is underway to preserve and refurbish a piece of Manitoba's past. The Nanette Sanatorium on the shores of Pelican Lake in southwestern Manitoba has sat vacant for nearly a quarter century. The sanatorium was built in 1909 to treat patients with tuberculosis. It closed in 1972, and in the following decades, the site was used as a care center for patients with intellectual disabilities and briefly as a Christian conference center. A new owner took possession of the historic site in June of 2023, and since then has been working to restore it. The owner of the site tells CTV News that the project includes converting some of the buildings into apartments and a museum. Many stakeholders are wondering what Canadian negotiators might be willing to give up in order to reach a new trade deal with the U.S. The Canadian dairy sector has long been a target of President Trump, but farmers are warning about putting their industry in the crosshairs. CTV's Mike LeCouture reports.
Peter Reuter puts in 80-hour work weeks on his small dairy farm in Ottawa's South End. He says he makes a decent living because of supply management.
We're actually a huge disadvantage compared to the U.S., compared to other farmers, because if I can't find a home for it in 2 days, I have to discard it. And discarding milk makes you no money.
Canada has been ripping us off for years.
President Donald Trump has railed against Canada's dairy, saying it's unfairly protected by high tariffs on U.S. imports. Supply management sets production quotas for dairy, poultry, and eggs in Canada. It's meant to provide stable pricing for both farmers and consumers, and it keeps foreign suppliers from flooding the market. But opponents argue it also keeps costs higher.
Just in the dairy sector is costing the average household, up just under $450 a year.
Proponents point out the Canadian system keeps farms smaller, insulating them in the event of a major health issue like bird flu.
When avian influenza hits a facility of 8 million birds or even 2 million birds, that is a really significant whack to one's ability to supply the population with the eggs they require.
A bill preventing supply-managed sectors from being included in future trade negotiations did pass Parliament with strong support. However, there is concern that Canada will again have to make concessions on dairy, poultry, and eggs, like the last time a deal was struck with U.S. President Donald Trump.
There's probably going to be some give and take on the part of Canada with respect to our dairy regime, but I don't expect that it will disappear.
In the last negotiations, Canada allowed U.S. dairy farmers access to about 3.5% of the domestic market. And Canadian farmers worry if more access is given to Americans, could mean the end of their livelihoods.
There's no farmers, there's no food, and if there's no food, there's no us.
A message Reuter hopes Canadian politicians remember as they negotiate a new deal. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Here's another look at traffic. This is Donald Street. It is 8:37. No delays to let you know about right now. Taking a look at your gas prices, the Canadian average stands at $1.34. The provincial average is slightly lower, $1.30. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.29. The lowest price in the city is at $1.19. All this info you can be finding at gasbuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
It's time to check in with our question of the day. We asked you guys, what's one cause close to your heart that you'd love to support through volunteering? And your answers were great. Marlene says helping rescue animals is a great volunteering job. Susan says if I could volunteer, it would be for Silo Mission. The homeless need our help. It would be very rewarding. Thank you guys for your responses. Speaking of volunteering, Joseph Bernacki joins us live from Big Brothers Big Sisters and is having a conversation with Volunteer Manitoba.
Thanks, Ainsley. Yeah, good morning, Winnipeg. It's been a great morning here. We appreciate Big Brothers and Big Sisters being our host this morning. And of course, Ashley Seymour, the Executive Director from Volunteer Manitoba, for helping coordinate and set this up for us today. Pleasure to have you on our show again.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit, what's it been like over the summer for volunteer opportunities? It's really probably a question you get asked all the time. Who can volunteer?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, you know, anybody can volunteer, especially over the summer. We encourage, you know, families maybe to come out and volunteer together. It's a great way to get your young children involved in the community from a young age. And there's just so many incredible opportunities available over the summer months.
And your organization does a good job of listing different opportunities all the time. Isn't that right, Ashley?
Absolutely, yeah. So for folks who are, you know, maybe looking for their next volunteer role or even their first volunteer role, they can visit our website at volunteermanitoba.ca. And as you said, we post hundreds of volunteer opportunities from organizations and groups all across Manitoba. It's updated regularly. There's new stuff on there every week. And so we encourage people, you know, start there, see what's out there, and then give us a call if you have questions or need some help being pointed in the right direction.
You can even probably break it down in terms of a time commitment, I imagine. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. If you're looking to volunteer, you know, just 1 hour, one time, or something weekly, there's an opportunity available for everybody.
We've had a chance this morning to showcase a number of different organizations. Big Brothers, Big Sisters, the Leftover Foundation, Folklorama. Volunteers, we say all the time on our show, are the lifeblood of these organizations. Like, from your perspective at Volunteer Manitoba, how important is it that we keep driving up those numbers and getting people out there to keep supporting these places?
It's so important. You know, as we were talking off air, like, there's so many great things that happen in and around this city and the province during the summer, and they're really volunteer driven. So all these events, all these festivals wouldn't exist without the support of volunteers. So it's really important to encourage people to get involved.
And volunteers can also have fun doing what they do too, right?
Oh, of course. You know, you can attend all the Folklorama events that you're volunteering and see all the different performances. You know, Folk Fest was just a couple of weeks ago, and their volunteers get to attend the performances as well. So there's some added benefits to giving back, of course.
Well, we appreciate having you on our show again this morning, Ashley. We'll have more information on a link on our website again for CTV Morning Live.
Thank you, Joseph. Terry, outside, I feel like it's shaping up to be a beautiful day.
Well, I was thinking so too until I started to really notice that smoke, and now every time I step outside, I'm noticing it even more so. So that will certainly be a factor, and no change there, Ainsley, because these winds are expected out of the north today, and they'll continue to well, draw more of that smoke in. Our rain gauge, this is the last time I'm going to show you this. That was from the weekend. Look at that. Just over 30 millimeters of rain fell. I don't even know if I was going to say I normally pour it back in here, but they're so saturated, I'll just let it go over the patio. There we go. Wash the patio. It could use it too. Actually, I'm sure it got a good wash. Now that I'm noticing it, the patio is very clean. Too got a nice little scrub down with the rain over the weekend. All right, 17 degrees. Let's get back to today, shall we? The sun is up, it's shining bright, and those temperatures will be climbing. Along with the heat from the sun, we've got the humidity that we've got to factor in right now, sitting at 91%. But heat and humidity combined could make today's 25 degrees feel more like 30, so that might be a little stifling for some. Not to mention just the heat and the humidity. So we've already got this heavy air, and now factor in the smoke, and you might not want to be spending long periods of time outdoors at all today. So it will be on the sunnier side. There's a possibility of some brief scattered passing showers, not amounting to too much, and even less so throughout the rest of the week. Is looking hot and dry, especially as we work toward the weekend. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Efforts to boost interprovincial trade have shifted into high gear with different proposals and agreements among provinces. Some businesses are expecting a massive boost as barriers come down. But it won't be easy. CTV's Maria Sorrow spoke with brewers about the cheers and challenges ahead.
Pouring into new markets and the cups of millions of new customers is on the table. But for some producers, the trouble of moving beer across borders outweighs the benefits, says Lone Oak Brewing's co-owner.
It's probably not something that we would look to offer in the near future based on the logistical challenges and the costs of shipping.
Beer is heavy. Shipping in bulk is pricey, and ideally it should be kept cold. For small producers, these are bigger problems. If transport companies can cut costs and keep kegs cool, that'll help. But otherwise, direct-to-consumer alcohol sales is not a game changer, says the Canadian Craft Brewers Association.
I don't think that it's going to be a huge kind of market opportunity for us.
Even if the freight is figured out, every province plays by different tax rules, running their own regulatory boards. That's another challenge that could shrink profits if a standardized structure isn't put in place.
This is a symbolic move in trade more than anything else. I don't think alcohol is the top issue in Canada these days.
The Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses Atlantic Director adds, if the red tape can be reduced, Canada can create solutions for other industries in the face of Trump's trade war. PEI's finance minister told CTV News in an email statement, there are many administrative details to work out and a lot of complexities involved in changing regulated spaces. But she's optimistic about meeting the May 2026 deadline. For now, the beer at Lone Oak stays local as the rules get a sober review. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
It's one of Canada's most beloved cultural celebrations, a spectacular, colorful, and unforgettable weekend packed with music, dancing, food, and fun. We're, of course, talking about Canada's National Ukrainian Festival, which returns to Dauphin, Manitoba. With 60 years of tradition, this festival draws thousands from across the country and even around the world. Joining us now is Festival President Kayla Gillis. Good morning, Kayla.
Good morning.
So for those who haven't been to the festival, and with all that history, I'm not sure who at this point, why is it so special?
It is so special to continue to carry on our cultural heritage and just keeping the Ukrainian culture alive and growing within Canada and beyond.
And with that such a long history too, tell us a bit about it.
Well, it started in 1965, right? 60 years ago, and it's growing strong. So it started right in town in Dauphin, Manitoba, and it has grown to just south of Dauphin, about 10 kilometers to the Sula Ukraina site, which is officially named the home of Canada's National Ukrainian Festival. And it's grown from, 150 people all the way up to 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people in attendance.
And what can guests expect this year, from food to entertainment?
We have something for everyone. It is fun for the whole entire family. Come on in, bring your children, bring Baba and Guido, bring someone who's never been before. We have 5 amazing grandstand shows. We have a cultural village that is going all 3 days. We have our agricultural heritage group, which is coming in to do some threshing. There's just something for everyone. There's our talent competition that is running all 3 days this year. There's food vendors, there's merchant vendors. There's just something for everyone. There's children's activities, song, music, and dance, and we'll dance the night away with all of our zababas all 3 evenings.
Now, we can't talk about food without highlighting pierogies. Now, this next question is a little bit of an opinion-based one. What makes the perfect pierogi?
What makes the perfect pierogi? I would say Baba's got to make the pierogi. That makes the perfect pierogi.
Yes, that's definitely key. I'm going to start a website. It's just rentababa.com. I don't know. Or somebody's got to email me.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
This festival is bringing out Ukrainian pride and tradition, too. What does it mean to you personally as president?
For me, because this is one of my heritage behind me is Ukrainian culture. And in order to stand in front of everyone and showcase that this is a wonderful tradition to be part of, I grew up in a small Ukrainian community. I Ukrainian danced, and now I live in Dauphin, which is also a Ukrainian community. And to keep that culture running strong is definitely something that's very dear to my heart.
And what does it mean for the area as well, knowing that it's going to bring an influx of folks from Winnipeg and beyond?
Definitely. We have, it's not just Winnipeg and beyond. We actually have patrons joining us from Australia this year. We're very excited to have them, but it just brings the whole community together. It brings an influx of patrons into the community for other businesses to support Dauphin, and it's just nice to see the community full of spirit and Ukrainian culture for the whole weekend.
Australia, wow. If somebody's going to be making the trek, even if it's not from, you know, across the country or across the world, what should they know? What should they bring? What should they know ahead of time?
Bring something for all types of weather. Bring, you know, shorts, bring your sandals, bring pants for the evening. It does get cooler. Bring an umbrella, but just come to have fun. There's shelter up at the hill. If it gets too warm, there's air conditioning as well too. But just know, if you're coming to town, all of our hotels are fully booked. So please find a buddy to stay with if you have friends or family, or we still do offer camping. All of our upper camping is sold out, but we still have lower camping that you can purchase for the weekend as well.
See, my website about finding a baba actually makes a little bit more sense now. So you get the pierogies, you get the stay. The most welcoming people. What's the website?
Website cnuf.ca.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, you also need to bring a good attitude and an empty belly.
Well, I asked her about the perfect pierogi. She says it has to be a baba, and I said, it makes perfect sense to me.
I get that. Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to find the most authentic feast out there. So, all right, now I'm salivating too. I didn't think there was going to be much in the way of precipitation today, but apparently here in studio. Whoa. Okay, let's take a look outside though, shall we? We're still dealing with the foggy, well, it was fog. Now it's almost more smoke that we're seeing out there. 17 degrees, north winds. They're on the lighter side, just 3 clicks. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 91%. Really starting to notice that aroma, the campfire smell of the smoke that's moving in. And you can see the area expanding now further into the south, and we'll probably find ourselves as part of that as well. Seeing this precipitation coming in from the west, we will welcome some of that. I mean, I know we got a deluge really over the weekend, 30+ millimeters of rain in my rain gauge on the rooftop. But if that does help kind of dampen some of those smoke particles in the air, we'll then bring it on. The possibility around the province of some scattered showers, but today might be the only day. After this, it's looking pretty clear, although actually tomorrow southwestern Manitoba may still have a bit of shower activity passing through. 25 today, just dropping slightly for tomorrow, and then back into the mid-20s or even high 20s. So brace yourself, it's going to get warmer, but even for today, 25 degrees, but it could feel like 30 when we're factoring in that humidity. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center.
Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
All right, we're going to get you ready for your Monday. How'd you convince your owner you need a pool? This dog had a plan. Check it out. Walked right up to the water bowl and climbed right in.
And almost got stuck in there. You see him trying to get out? He's like a little beetle on his back.
Poor thing. Now, it's not
Poor
a
thing.
teacup.
He's cool.
Yeah, no cannonball there.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and there goes the water. Who's drinking that afterwards?
Dogs are fierce protectors, especially when the mailman comes by.
Okay.
I was not expecting that. I don't know what I was expecting, but in the newest edition of Home Alone, this might be Kevin McAllister.
Wow.
The slow motion is really...
Like, that gives new meaning to, no, I didn't get those bills. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if the dog gets to it, did it really happen? Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow.